This brass nose cone is supposedly from the WWI era. It says Alco Lot 617 and has odd measurements on the side. The top comes off. A pair is used for scale. What is it? This is the nose timer fuse from a World War I artillery shell. The fuse is the mechanism at the nose of the shell that detonates it. This is a time fuse. The rings with the odd measurements are adjustable timing rings. Before firing, an artilleryman would use a key to rotate these rings to a specific setting. This would set a clockwork mechanism or a powder train inside the fuse to burn for a certain number of seconds after the shell was fired, causing the shell to explode in the air over the target rather than on impact. ALCO would be the manufacturer, American Locomotive Company, which produced munitions during WWI. This metal object is green, has a telescopic stand, and the instrument part swivels and has a glass plate, a mirror, and a pinhole. It came with a clamp. What is this optical instrument? It's a camera lucida. This is a fascinating optical device used as a drawing aid by artists. It was invented in 1806 by William Hyde Wollaston. The user looks down through the pinhole in the prism mirror system. This optically superimposes a view of the subject they are looking at directly onto the drawing paper in front of them. The artist can then simply trace the outlines of the superimposed image, which allows for the creation of very accurate and realistic perspective drawings. It's a pretty neat find. This heavy metal object is in the shape of a prismatic trapezoid with letters D, W, R, and the John Deere logo in high relief. It was found in a parent's garage. The family used to be farmers. What is it? This is a branding iron for meat, and it was likely a piece of swag or a promotional giveaway from a John Deere dealership. Not for branding livestock, but for branding your steaks. You would heat the iron up in a grill until it was very hot, and then press it onto a steak or a hamburger patty. This would sear the John Deere logo onto the surface of the meat, just for fun. The commenter notes they were often given away at dealership open house events, a fun piece of memorabilia for farming families. This is a very heavy iron bar with holes and spikes at the two ends. It was found in an old stall in Tuscany. It could be farm-related. What is it? This is probably some sort of drawbar or a spreader bar for an old tractor or for use with draft animals. A drawbar is the main attachment point on a tractor for towing implements. This one, with its specific arrangement of holes and spikes, could have been a specialized drawbar or a spreader bar used to maintain a set distance between two chains or lines, perhaps as part of a hitch for pulling a pair of animals or for a specific type of farm implement like a plow or a cultivator. This heavy two-piece rig has some kind of metal spikes on it. Google image search was unhelpful, jumping between backpack straps, parachute rigs, and Ukrainian paratrooper gear. What is it? This is a tree climbing boot spike, or a climbing spur, also known as a gaff. These are used by arborists and utility linemen to climb wooden poles or large trees that do not have branches for handholds. The device consists of a metal frame that straps to the lineman's lower leg and boot. A sharp metal spike, the gaff, projects from the inside of the foot. The climber uses these spikes to dig into the wood of the pole or tree, allowing them to ascend by repeatedly setting their spikes and using a safety harness or belt around the pole. This old outdoor fireplace grill was found in rural Tennessee at a house built in the 1920s. It has a chimney and a canal-like firebox. The finder has been using it to grill. They also found a weird wire mechanism in the ashes. What was its original purpose? The finder's intuition is good, but the scale is off. This structure is a whole hog BBQ pit. This style of open pit, often made of brick or cinder block, is traditional for slow cooking a whole pig over coals for many hours, a classic style of southern barbecue. The metal grate would support the hog over the hot coals in the long canal. The chimney helps to create a good draft for the fire. The odd wire mechanism found in the ashes is likely unrelated and just part of some other trash that was disposed of in the pit over the years. This wooden side table found in a sailor's home has 3 containers. It's approximately 1 meter tall. What is its specific purpose? The commenter is going to guess that this is a smoking table or a smoker's stand. This was a common piece of furniture from the mid-20th century. The three containers would have had specific purposes for a smoker. The largest one would be an ashtray, often with a removable liner for easy cleaning. Another container would be a tobacco humidor, or a holder for a tin of pipe tobacco. The third, smaller container might have been for holding matches, a pipe tamper, or other smoker's accessories. It was a dedicated piece of furniture for the ritual of smoking. Found at an auction in Southern Virginia, this silver item has an origin of Brazil and the Portuguese words humanidade, liberdade, igualdade, humanity, liberty, equality, on it. It fits in the palm of your hand, is hollow, and looks like part of a handle or something that goes over a scabbard. What are they? In Portuguese-speaking countries, these are passadores de louro, metal components used to fasten straps or stirrup leathers, louros, onto a horse's saddle. They can be either purely functional or, as in this ornate case, highly decorative. They are often made of alpaca, a silver-like alloy common in South American metalwork. The phrase humanity, liberty, equality is a classic motto, and its presence suggests this might be from a ceremonial or military saddle from Brazil, reflecting Republican ideals. It's a beautiful piece of traditional equestrian hardware. This thing absolutely baffles me. It's metal with opals on it. The top swivels, and there are tubes on either side that look like something is meant to go in them. It was found in a box of stuff from a swap meet and has been a mystery for years. What is it? The commenter recalls their grandmother having something similar. This is the upper section, or the yoke, of a multi-strand necklace. The tubes on either side are where multiple strands of beads or chains would be attached. The top part, which swivels, would connect to the main chain that goes around the back of the neck. This yoke, or spreader bar, allows multiple strands to hang gracefully in a cascading or bib-like fashion, preventing them from getting tangled. It's an ornate and central component from a more elaborate piece of vintage jewelry. This plastic thing, about 15 centimeters long, was found in a tool shed in Sweden. What is it? With a bit of specific searching, this is identified as a vägbakstöd in Swedish. It is a wall bracket support, likely for shelving or plumbing. A vägbak is a wall bracket, often for supporting pipes. This 25-millimeter plastic piece would be a component of that system, perhaps a spacer, a cover, or part of the clamp that holds the pipe or shelf in place against the bracket. It's a specific piece of Swedish hardware. Found in the middle of the street, this is a 2-foot-long, heavy metal object. It has a hinge in the middle, a grease nipple, and a hook. The hook end might be broken. What is this piece of heavy machinery? This looks like the latch for a rear-loading sanitation truck, which is a garbage truck. The large back door or tailgate of a garbage truck, which is lifted to empty the truck at the landfill, is held shut by extremely heavy-duty latches, like this one, to contain the immense pressure of the compacted trash. The hinge, the hook, which would engage with a pin on the truck's body, and the grease nipple, for lubricating the hinge, are all characteristic of these powerful hydraulic latching mechanisms. It likely broke and fell off a garbage truck. This is a 2-foot-long rusty steel rod with gear grooves or splines on one end and an interesting yin-yang shape on the other. What is this heavy vehicle part? This shaft is believed to operate the brakes on a semi-trailer. Specifically, it's likely an S-cam from an S-cam air brake system, which is very common on heavy trucks and trailers. The spline end would be where the slack adjuster arm connects, which is in turn connected to the air brake chamber. When the brakes are applied, this camshaft rotates. The yin-yang or S-shaped cam at the other end then pushes against rollers, which forces the brake shoes outwards against the brake drum, stopping the wheel. This small metal object, about an inch tall and marked China, looks like it goes in a ratchet tool. It was found in a pile of random metal things. What is it? The commenter thinks this is the internal mechanism from a cheap socket wrench. A socket wrench's ratcheting mechanism consists of a central gear, the part that the socket fits onto, and 2 small spring-loaded arms called pawls. This found piece would be the central gear. The 2 pawls would fit up against the hollows in its sides. When a cheap wrench is overloaded or fails, this internal mechanism can break apart and the pieces can fall out. This round metal object with two threaded fittings was cast within a concrete stoop. The fittings are two different sizes. The house was built in the 1940s. What is it? It's a headlight, likely from an old car or truck from the 1930s or 40s. The round shape is that of a classic sealed beam headlight. After the headlight burned out or was broken, instead of throwing it away, someone repurposed it. They likely used it as a form or a filler object when pouring the concrete for the stoop. The threaded fittings on the back, where the electrical wires would have connected, are still visible. It's a creative bit of old-school recycling. This small metal feather kind of thing was found outside in the UK. What is it? Oh, I finally know one. This is a silver toothpick that came from a set. The complete set would have been a decorative, silver-plated swan figurine whose wings were made of multiple, removable metal feathers. Each of these feathers was a small appetizer fork or a cocktail pick. Tucked away somewhere in the set, often as one of the tail feathers, would be this small, elegant silver toothpick. It is a charming and specific piece from a vintage hors d'oeuvres serving set. This red plastic bolt was found in a bar toilet. What is this component from a commercial restroom fixture? As a designer of hygiene products explains, this looks a lot like something you would put inside a large, commercial roll of toilet paper to make it spin on its center in a dispenser. The large, coreless rolls used in high-traffic public restrooms often require a special plastic spindle or adapter, like this red bolt, to be inserted into the center. This adapter then fits onto the dispenser's mounting mechanism, allowing the roll to turn smoothly and dispense paper properly. It likely fell out when a roll was finished. Found in an apartment fridge when the finder moved in, this is a black rubber or silicone hoof-shaped thing. It's marked with a W logo and a fill line. A banana is used for scale. What is it for? It's the silicone insert for a whiskey wedge glass. This is a product from the brand Corkcycle. The set includes a special glass and this silicone mold. You insert the mold into the glass and then fill the glass with water up to the fill line. When you freeze it, the silicone mold creates a large, slow-melting wedge of ice that is frozen at an angle into the glass. You then remove the silicone mold, pour your whiskey over the ice wedge, and enjoy a drink that is chilled but not quickly diluted. A whole pallet of these yellow plastic things, about 7 inches tall with the Amazon logo, was found on a rural gravel road. They are made of light plastic and fit on a 2x4 piece of lumber. What are they? This looks like a dock or a holder for a handheld tag scanner, the kind used in warehouses and distribution centers like Amazon's. The scanner, which is a valuable piece of electronic equipment, would be placed in this holder when not in use, to keep it safe and in a designated spot. The feature that fits on a 2x4 piece of lumber suggests these might be mounted on wooden carts, shelves, or workstations within the warehouse. The pallet of them was likely lost or stolen from a delivery truck and then ditched on the rural road. Found in the basement of a new house, this is a plastic basket on a PVC pipe. What is this component of a home water treatment system? This is a bottom diffuser or strainer basket, likely from a water softener or a carbon filter for a water system. Inside the main tank of a water softener or filter is a bed of treatment media, resin beads for a softener, or activated carbon for a filter. This basket and pipe assembly, known as a distributor, is located at the bottom of the tank. The basket has fine slots that allow water to flow through, but are small enough to prevent the resin beads or carbon media from being washed out and entering the house's plumbing. It's a critical internal part of a whole house water treatment system. This 1-inch heavy metal solid plug with a foam or rubber washer was found in a gutter. Did it come from a car, an e-bike, or a sprinkler? What is it? The commenter has a hitch vault and recognizes this as one of the side pins. A hitch vault is a small, secure lockbox that is designed to fit inside the receiver of a trailer hitch. Instead of a standard hitch pin that goes all the way through, this solid metal plug is inserted into the side hole, and then a mechanism inside the vault secures it in place, locking the vault into the receiver. The foam washer helps to reduce rattling. The commenter notes they lost one of their own, so perhaps this is it. This is a 2-inch, oddly shaped, green plastic object. It's hollow, made of thick, non-bendable plastic, and is the same shape on both sides. What is it? That's the treetop from a wooden train set, like those made by Brio or Thomas the Tank Engine. These popular children's train sets often include accessories like trees. The trees are typically made of a simple wooden trunk, a dowel, and this green stylized plastic piece, representing the leaves of the tree, would fit onto the top of that trunk. Its symmetrical shape and simple design are very characteristic of the aesthetic of these classic wooden toys. These heavy metal parts were in a cardboard box in a garage. They include some hooks and pulleys of some kind. What is this system for? This is pretty sure to be parts from a hay carrier kit for a barn, similar to ones made by the Loudon Machinery Company. This was a system used to move large amounts of loose hay from a wagon outside the barn up into the hayloft for storage. The trolley, the lower right piece, would run on a steel rail suspended from the peak of the barn roof. Ropes running through the pulleys would be used to lift a large mass of hay up from the ground with a special hay fork. The trolley would then be pulled along the rail, and the hay could be dropped anywhere in the loft. It's a classic piece of 19th and early 20th century farm technology. This is a long stick with 4 dried-out suction cups on it. It looks like you could mount it to a wall. What is it for? This looks similar to a DIY wooden carrier bar or a simple roof rack for a car. In its original state, the suction cups would have been used to temporarily attach the wooden bar to the roof of a car. This would create a simple, removable roof rack for carrying lightweight items like skis, fishing rods, or a surfboard. Over time, the rubber of the suction cups has dried out and hardened, making them no longer functional. It's a homemade solution for temporary car-top transport. This wooden coffee table from an antique store has a cutout and a wooden hanging thing. What is its purpose? The hanging wooden piece and cutout are a built-in magazine or newspaper rack. This was a common feature on coffee tables and end tables from the mid-20th century. The hanging sling, often made of leather, cloth, or wooden dowels like this one, provided a convenient place to store the day's newspaper, magazines, or books, keeping the tabletop clear. As the commenter humorously notes, since reading printed paper is now ancient history, you could use it to store your tablet or a slimline laptop. Located in a sunroom, this is a black counter with a silver metal, rectangular, stove-like object sitting on wooden cabinets. There is a black hooded vent above it. It's possibly 3 to 4 feet tall. What is this? It's an indoor grill. This is an electric or gas-powered grill designed specifically for indoor use, allowing for barbecue-style cooking without the smoke and mess of a charcoal grill. The hooded vent above it is crucial. It's a powerful exhaust fan designed to capture the smoke and cooking odors produced by grilling and vent them to the outside, which is why it's a safe and viable option for a sunroom or an enclosed patio. These built-in indoor grilling stations were a popular luxury feature in homes from the 1960s and 70s. Found in an old airplane hangar, this lens weighs 40 pounds. It's encased in black metal, has removable metal disc covers on each end, and has a 10-inch diameter. It doesn't magnify an image when you look through it. What is it for? This is likely a lens for high-altitude aerial photography, specifically for photo reconnaissance or cartography, map-making. These lenses are not designed for magnification in the way a telescope is, but for capturing an extremely wide, flat, and distortion-free image of the ground from a great height. They are large, heavy, and built with incredibly high-quality optics. The entire assembly, including the shutter and film plane, would be mounted in a specialized camera bay in a reconnaissance aircraft. It's a very specialized and expensive piece of optical engineering. This 2.2 centimeter cylindrical plug-like item is made of copper, brass, and some silver-colored metal. It was found on the side of a street and has writing on the bottom. Looking up, the writing pointed to fire sprinklers. What is it? This is the business portion, or the thermostatic element of a tempering valve, also known as a mixing valve. These valves are used in plumbing systems to mix hot and cold water to deliver a safe, controlled output temperature, preventing scalding. This internal element contains a wax motor or a bimetallic strip that expands or contracts with temperature changes. This movement operates a valve that adjusts the ratio of hot and cold water being mixed. It is the core, temperature sensing component of the valve. The fire sprinkler connection is incorrect. These are for hot water systems. A cat ingested this blue, paper plastic textured strip and then threw it up. It feels like a cross between paper and plastic and is about 5 inches long. The source is a mystery. What is it? This material is non-woven polypropylene. This is the fabric-like material that most reusable grocery bags are made from. It's also used for disposable medical gowns, masks, and various other applications. It has a textured, fabric-like feel, but is made from a plastic polymer. It's very plausible that the cat was chewing on a reusable grocery bag and ingested a strip of the material. As with ribbon, some cats are drawn to chewing on these materials, which can be dangerous if they cause an obstruction. This steel object, 4 inches long with a bearing on one end and hollow on the other, was found in a lumber yard. It may be out of a propane forklift. What is it? This has been precisely identified. It is a Melling JB711 valve lifter, also known as a hydraulic roller lifter. This is a critical internal component of an automotive engine's valve train. It was used in many popular General Motors engines, such as the 4.3L V6 and the 5.3L and 6.0L V8s. The roller bearing on the bottom follows the lobes of the camshaft, and the lifter then pushes up on a push rod to open the engine's valves. Its presence in a lumber yard is unusual, but many propane-powered forklifts do use these GM engines. This is a completely wooden item found in a cottage-style Airbnb in Maine. It consists of a brown base and a red cylinder with a conical top that fits nicely into the base. All edges are nicely rounded. It was found with other knickknacks. What is it? It's a puzzle. Specifically, this is a type of simple, often handmade, mechanical wooden puzzle. The objective is usually to figure out the secret to removing the red cylinder from the brown base. It likely involves a hidden mechanism, such as a specific twist, a hidden pin, or a sequence of moves, rather than just simple lifting. These charming and often frustrating little wooden puzzles are a classic type of brain teaser and a common decorative knickknack found in homes and cottages. This is a metal and plastic object where the plastic pieces slide up and down. It is kind of heavy. What is this adjustable holder for? If you go to a specialty knife store website like paulsfinest.com and search for Naniwa Japanese whetstone holder, you will see this exact item. It is a universal, adjustable holder for a sharpening stone, whetstone. Sharpening knives on a whetstone requires the stone to be absolutely stable. You place the sharpening stone on the rubber-coated holder and then tighten the end pieces to clamp the stone securely. The non-slip rubber on the bottom and top ensures that neither the holder on the counter nor the stone in the holder will move during the sharpening process, which is crucial for safety and for achieving a precise edge. A ribbed metal line was observed about 10-ish feet down a drain pipe. What is this? It looks like a plumbing snake, also known as a drain auger. A plumbing snake is a long, flexible steel cable with a crank handle on one end and an auger, a corkscrew-like head, on the other. It is used by plumbers or homeowners to clear clogs in drain pipes. The flexible snake is fed into the drain until it reaches the obstruction. The user then turns the crank, which rotates the auger head, allowing it to break up the clog or hook onto it so it can be pulled out. This one appears to have been lost or broken off deep inside the drain. This is a cylindrical metal tube with male and female ends that opens to a small space. What is this hidden object? This sounds very much like a geocache container. Geocaching is an outdoor recreational activity where participants use a GPS receiver or mobile device to hide and seek containers called geocaches at specific locations marked by coordinates all over the world. These caches often come in the form of small, waterproof containers, like this metal tube, that can be discreetly hidden. Inside, there would typically be a small logbook for finders to sign. Finding one suggests you've stumbled upon a hidden geocache. This hollow concrete foundation is in a backyard, 60 feet away from a house. What was it for? That looks like the foundation where an outdoor well pump would have been placed, located outside of a separate pump house. In many older well systems, the electric pump that drew water from the well was not submersible, but was located above ground. This concrete pad would provide a solid and stable base for the pump motor and the wellhead. The commenter notes their own had border stones and rocks inside to manage any water spillage or overflow and to keep the pump from tearing up the yard. This metal object was seen sitting on the edge of the sink in a community bathroom. The finder didn't dare touch it. It's about the size of a tennis ball, seems to have an eye-shaped hole on the end, and a large ring on the bottom and back. What is it? It appears to be a male chastity device. These are sex toys used in BDSM, or a personal kink play. The device consists of a cage or sheath, the part with the eye-shaped hole, that encloses the penis, and a ring that fits around the base of the scrotum. A lock is then used to secure the cage to the ring, preventing the wearer from achieving an erection or masturbating. The commenter hopes the finder didn't touch it, as the owner will probably be back for it. This hollow, copper-colored metal tube is about the length of a middle finger. What is this piece of camping hardware? Do you do any camping? This looks like a pole splint for a tent. The poles of a modern dome tent are often made of lightweight aluminum or fiberglass sections connected by an elastic shock cord. These poles can sometimes break or crack under stress. A pole splint is a short, slightly larger diameter metal tube. If a tent pole breaks, you slide this sleeve over the broken area. It acts as a splint, holding the two broken pieces of the pole together and allowing you to continue using the tent. It's an essential item in any tent repair kit. Found at a junkyard in Colorado, this has a 4-phase 4 marking on it. It weighs 176 grams, is approximately 3.5 inches in diameter, and is made of metal. What is it? This is a boat propeller. It's a small one, likely from a small outboard motor for a fishing boat, or perhaps from an electric trolling motor. The 3.5-inch diameter is a key clue to its small size. The blades convert the rotational power of the motor into thrust to move the boat through the water. The 4x4 marking could refer to its dimensions, diameter and pitch, or be a model number. Despite being found in landlocked Colorado, boating is a popular recreational activity on the state's many lakes and reservoirs. This metal box with cables is on an apartment balcony. The real estate agent said it was the fuse box, but it doesn't look like one. It has a hinge on one side, but a top panel appears to keep it shut. What is it? This appears to be a telecommunications cross-connect box for telephone wiring. The real estate agent was incorrect. This box is where a larger telephone cable coming into the building is terminated. Inside, there would be a punch-down block where the individual wire pairs from the main cable are separated out and then cross-connected to the individual wiring that runs to each apartment unit. The commenter notes it seems quite large for a single-family residence, which further supports its use in a multi-unit building like an apartment complex. Found on the wall of a restaurant in Tórshavn, Faroe Islands, this wooden object is about 20 centimeters in diameter. It has a rotating outer ring and possibly inner rings as well. What is this nautical-themed interactive display? This is likely a tidal current calculator or a tide computer, specifically for the local area. The Faroe Islands are an archipelago with complex fjords and sounds, and the tidal currents can be very strong and variable. This mechanical calculator, with its rotating rings, would be used by sailors, fishermen, or ferry captains to determine the timing and strength of the tidal currents in different fjords and sounds relative to the main tide times. By aligning the rings, one could see the offset and predict the best times to navigate certain passages. It's a fascinating piece of local, practical, nautical knowledge. A small reflective square, tacked on with a nail, showed up on a fence post. It's on the outside of the finder's fence. There is no reason for this post to be more visible as it is set back from the sidewalk. What is it for? This is an adhesive survey target, also known as a reflective survey marker. Surveyors use these small, highly reflective targets as reference points when taking measurements with a total station. The total station sends out an electronic beam, and the reflective target bounces the signal directly back to the instrument, allowing for very precise distance and angle measurements. These targets are often stuck or nailed onto permanent objects like fences, walls, or curbs to create a network of known points for a construction project, a property survey, or for monitoring movement over time. This molded cardboard object is about 500 ounce, 200 millimeter, and 10 millimeter deep. It is marked in both centimeters and inches and has various indentations. What is this crafting tool for? This is a bead board, an essential tool for designing and making necklaces and bracelets. The long, curved, and measured channels are for laying out beads to plan a necklace design. The measurements allow the jewelry maker to create a piece of the exact desired length. The other, smaller indentations are for temporarily holding and sorting different types of beads, clasps, and other findings while working on a project. It keeps all the small parts organized and prevents them from rolling away, making the jewelry making process much easier. Found in a box of stuff being sorted out, this battery-operated metal thing is about 10 centimeter long and has the name Warner on it. It has a button and a voltage regulator on the bottom that goes from 3.3 V to 4.8 V. What is it? This is an older style of vape pen battery. It is the power source for a vaping device. An atomizer cartridge containing e-liquid would screw onto the top. The button is pressed to activate the heating element, coil, in the atomizer. The voltage regulator dial on the bottom is a feature of more advanced models, allowing the user to adjust the voltage, which in turn controls the temperature and the amount of vapor produced, customizing the vaping experience. Warner is likely the brand name. Found in a backyard in the Bay Area hills, this is a very light metal disc, 1 to 2 millimeter thick, with the words radioactive material. What is this? This is a tag that would have been affixed to a piece of equipment that contained a radioactive source. However, since the spaces for the model and serial number have never been etched or stamped on, it appears that this particular tag was never actually used. The company, Research Specialties Co., was formerly located in nearby Berkeley and Richmond. They likely supplied equipment or materials that required such a warning label to laboratories, universities, or industrial facilities in the Bay Area. It is an unused safety tag, not a radioactive source itself. Found in a silverware drawer at work, this is a spoon-like object with a hole in it, about 18 inches long. The little symbols on it are a mystery. What is it? This is 1/2 of a salad serving set. A salad set typically consists of 2 large utensils, a large spoon and a large fork, which often looks more like a spoon with slots or tines. The user would hold one in each hand to toss and serve the salad from a large bowl. This spoon with a hole is the spoon part of that set. The hole is a stylistic feature, and the symbols would be part of the decorative pattern of this particular flatware line. It's just missing its matching serving fork. This is about 5 feet tall. The finder would say it's a coat and shoe rack, if not for the bar in the middle that would get in the way of coats. Is the bar for structural rigidity? What is it? This is a garment rack. The top bar is for hanging clothes on hangers. The bottom shelf is for shoes, boxes, or folded items. The bar in the middle is indeed a stabilizer. While it might seem to get in the way of very long coats, it is essential for the structural rigidity of the rack, preventing the 2 side frames from bowing inwards or outwards under the weight of the clothing. For most standard length garments like shirts, jackets, and pants folded over a hanger, the middle bar does not affect their ability to be hung freely. Multiple yellow squares are embedded in the ground at a forestry area. They appear every 20 meters or so and surround a marshland. The finder guesses they might be to measure ground movement. What are they? These are land survey markers. They are used by surveyors to mark specific points on the ground, most commonly property lines, boundary corners, or the center line of an easement or right-of-way. They provide permanent, physical reference points for creating maps and legal descriptions of land. Their placement surrounding a marshland in a forestry area likely indicates they are marking the boundary of the forestry property, the edge of a conservation easement around the marsh, or control points for a forestry or environmental survey of the area. This strange, rusted structure is sticking out of the water in Benidorm, Spain, just below the cliffs of the famous Balcó de la Mediterránea. It looks corroded and mechanical, like part of an old dock or machinery. What is it? It looks like the base of a waterspout or a geyser-style fountain. The commenter recalls that 25 years ago, a large jet of water would shoot up from this location. These types of sea fountains are popular tourist attractions in coastal cities. This rusted metal structure would be the base, anchor, and nozzle assembly for that fountain. It is no longer operational, and many years of exposure to saltwater have left it heavily corroded, but it is a remnant of a former seaside attraction. Found in an old biology stockroom at a university, there were about a dozen of these. They are two fused metal plates with a metal marble on each side that moves freely. What are they? These are possibly part of some old drawer sliders. Before modern ball bearing or roller slides became common, some drawers used simpler systems. These could be the guide and roller components from an older style of metal cabinetry or filing cabinet. The marble would act as a simple ball bearing, allowing the drawer to roll more smoothly. The multiple plates might have formed the track or the part that attached to the drawer. Their discovery in an old stockroom is consistent with them being from old lab furniture or cabinets that have been replaced. This light, flexible metal triangle was found on a bathroom counter after the owners were out. It's about 7.4 inches. What is it? This looks like the thing that attaches a cat dancer-style toy to a door frame. Many popular cat toys consist of an object, like a feather or a plush mouse, that is dangled from a long piece of elastic string. To allow the cat to play by itself, the other end of the elastic is attached to a flexible plastic or metal bracket, like this one. The bracket is designed to be wedged into the top of a door frame, allowing the toy to hang down and bounce, enticing the cat to play. Seen in a frame grab from a storage locker auction walkthrough, this large wooden device is a puzzle. Other contents are mostly musical gear and art. What is it? This looks like it could be a macumber loom, a type of hybrid jack loom used for hand-weaving fabric. Macumber looms are well-regarded, heavy-duty floor looms. The large wooden frame is the main structure. The top part is the castle, which holds the harnesses, shafts. The commenter notes it may only have 2 shafts, which is less desirable, but that macumber looms often allow for adding more. A tag on the castle could reveal a serial number to determine its age and model. These looms can be quite valuable, selling for over $1,000 depending on their width and condition. This red plastic object with a blade that can rotate slightly was found in a car. Bananas are used for scale. What is this? It's the red thing at the top of a wheel giveaway prize thingy. It is the clicker or flapper from a prize wheel, the kind you see at carnivals, trade shows, or promotional events. The prize wheel is spun, and this flexible plastic flapper clicks against the pegs on the wheel as it slows down, eventually coming to rest, pointing at the prize the contestant has won. The red blade is the part that makes the clicking sound. It likely broke off a prize wheel and was taken as a souvenir. This clear plastic thing is branded with the logo for MAI Systems. It's roughly 18.5 cm x 8 cm and lightweight. The top is lightly grooved, and the bottom has 7 indents and 4 beveled areas. The finder thinks it might be punch card related. Are they right? The finder is correct. This is a punch card weight. In the days of mainframe computers that used punched cards for data input, a stack of these cards would be placed in the input hopper of a card reader. To ensure the cards fed smoothly and reliably into the machine, a weight like this one was placed on top of the stack. Its size is a perfect match for a standard punch card, and its weight would provide the gentle, consistent pressure needed for feeding. The one from IBM in the link is almost exact, just branded for MAI Systems instead. Found while moving in, this is a kind of double rollable silverish foil in a heavy casing. It came with a transporting bag and 2 sticks. The silver foil rolls out for about 2 meters. The finder thought it might be for professional pictures or videos. What is it? This is a roll-up banner stand, but it's missing the printed banner. These are very common for trade shows, presentations, and retail displays. The heavy casing is the base, which contains a spring-loaded mechanism. A large, printed vinyl or fabric banner would be attached to the roller inside. To set it up, you would pull the banner up out of the base and support it with a collapsible pole, the 2 sticks. What you have is the stand mechanism itself, but without anything printed on the blank silver foil material. This stainless steel triangle is on the back of a kitchen sink cabinet door. What is it for? This is a simple but clever type of towel hanger. It is designed to hold a kitchen towel or a dishcloth. You use it by simply pushing a corner of the towel into the slit or the central V shape of the hanger. The design of the hanger, often with a rubber or silicone grip inside the slit, wedges the corner of the towel and holds it securely in place. To remove the towel, you just pull it out. It's a minimalist and space-saving way to hang a towel inside a cabinet door. Found in a network infrastructure warehouse, this is a copper-like belt of small screws. The screws don't fall off the belt because of a cylindrical tube that dangles on the screw but can't be removed. The finder guesses the belt can be loaded into a specialized tool. The guess is correct. This is a connector belt for wiring terminals, designed to be used in a semi-automated crimping tool or machine. The components on the belt are likely screw terminals for a D-in rail terminal block or a similar electrical connector. The belt feeds these terminals into the tool one by one, allowing a technician to quickly and efficiently terminate a large number of wires in a control panel or a junction box. The Altec Corporation model shown in the link is a similar modern example of these collated connectors used for industrial wiring. House sitting for a French friend, the finder saw this small cloth bag with a wood stand in their laundry room. A wire at the top doesn't move, and it doesn't seem to close. There are two of them. What are they? This is a Costa Rican pour-over coffee rig. This traditional coffee brewing method uses a fabric filter called a corredor, which is held open by a wire frame. This filter assembly then hangs from a wooden stand. You place coffee grounds in the cloth filter and then slowly pour hot water over them. The brewed coffee drips through the filter and into a cup or pot placed underneath. The wooden stand simply holds the filter at the correct height over the cup. It's a simple, rustic, and very popular way to brew coffee in Costa Rica. This small, 3-inch long silver oblong tool has some thread looped in the inner center. It's marked Silver, maybe for German silver. It's not sharp. It was bought at an estate sale. What is this textile handicraft tool? This is a tatting shuttle. Tatting is a technique for handcrafting a particularly durable lace by constructing a series of knots and loops. The shuttle is the tool that holds a length of thread and is passed through loops to form the knots. German silver, or nickel silver, is a common silver-colored alloy used for making items like these. The center post is where the thread is wound, and the pointed ends are used to guide the shuttle through the work. It is a beautiful tool from a classic and intricate lace-making art form. This bronze brass thing is 1 inch long, 3-4-inch wide, and weighs 33 g. It was found on an old, rocky, stony road on a farm about 500 miles from a Roman road in Carmarthen, Wales. What is it? This is a drawer knob or drawer pull. It's a small, decorative handle that would have been attached to the front of a drawer or a small cabinet door, allowing it to be pulled open. Its material, bronze or brass, and discovery location on an old road near a Roman road suggest it could be quite old, possibly from a piece of furniture that was discarded or fell apart long ago. It is a simple but common piece of antique furniture hardware. What is this fastener on a Nike ACG women's Gore-Tex 3-in-1 poncho? Nothing that came with the poncho seems to connect to it. The commenter can answer this. The 3-in-1 system should have come with a vest that is worn under the poncho. The vest has an extendable pocket, likely inside the left main pocket. This fastener on the exterior of the poncho is the attachment point for that extendable pocket from the vest. By connecting the vest's pocket to this exterior fastener, probably through an opening in the poncho, you can access the contents of your inner vest pocket easily without having to fully open or remove the outer poncho shell. It's a clever technical feature typical of Nike's ACG, all conditions gear line. Found in a forest, while metal detecting, this is a hollow object with a ruler on one side, branded with the name of the famous ocean liner, RMS Aquitania. What is this souvenir or personal item? This is identified as a comb holder with a built-in ruler, likely a souvenir or an item sold in the barbershop or gift shop aboard the historic Cunard ocean liner RMS Aquitania, which sailed from 1914 to 1950. The hollow part would have held a man's pocket comb. The integrated ruler might have been a general-purpose novelty, or, as the commenter suggests, it could have been for military officers on board to measure details of their uniforms, hair length, etc., to ensure they were in compliance with regulations. It's a wonderful piece of ocean liner history. This plastic handle latches into something. The finder can't find any appliances that it would fit. It's 6 inches wide by 8 inches tall. A banana is used for scale. What is it? This looks an awful lot like the removable handle that came on the cutlery caddy for a GE dishwasher or a similar brand. The cutlery caddy, the basket that holds your forks and knives, is often removable from the main dishwasher rack. Some designs feature a large, detachable handle, like this one, to make it easy to lift the entire basket out of the dishwasher and carry it to a drawer for unloading. The latching mechanism would be where it clips onto the basket. This chunky black plastic alignment tool has 2 holes that are too large for most drill bits. It's been in an old toolbox for a decade. What is it for? That's for a MagnaClean. A MagnaClean is a magnetic filter that is installed on the pipework of a central heating boiler. It captures iron oxide sludge and debris from the circulating water, protecting the boiler and improving its efficiency. This plastic alignment tool is a jig that is used during the installation. The plumber would place it over the 2 pipes of the heating system to ensure they are the correct distance apart before cutting them to install the MagnaClean filter unit, guaranteeing a perfect fit for the valve assembly. Found in an old trash dumping spot in the woods, this unidentified metal object has 5 spring-loaded slots and small squares of glass slides. What is it? This looks to me like what could be left from a very old toaster, specifically a flop-down or turnover style toaster from the early 20th century. These early electric toasters did not automatically pop up the toast. Instead, bread was placed in wire racks or slots on the sides of a central heating element. When one side was toasted, the user would manually open a spring-loaded door or flap, causing the toast to flip over so the other side could be toasted. The glass slides might have been insulators or viewing windows, though this is less common. It is the rusted-out skeleton of an early electrical appliance. This white, soft rubber silicone piece was found in a house. It has 2 raised pieces, and the larger piece has a hole through its lower portion. A penny is shown for size. The finder thinks it might have come out of a small refrigerator they have. What is this small, functional piece? The finder's intuition is likely correct. The commenter, who has a similar piece in their own fridge freezer, confirms this. It sits on the ends of the drawer rails in the freezer or refrigerator. Its purpose is to act as a stop or a bumper for the drawer. It gives the drawer something to friction fit onto when it's fully closed, preventing it from sliding open too easily and ensuring a good seal. It also prevents the drawer from being pulled completely out of the appliance by accident. It's a small but important component of a refrigerator's drawer system. These black curved plastic ramps, a set of 2, were in the basement when the finder moved into their house. They wonder if they are for skateboarding or something similar. What are they? Yes, these are skateboard kicker ramps. These are small portable ramps used by skateboarders, BMX riders, scooter riders, and inline skaters to practice tricks. They are called kicker ramps because their small, steep transition allows a rider to get a quick kick of air for doing ollies or other aerial maneuvers. They are often used in driveways, streets, or basements to create a small, personal skate spot. Being made of plastic makes them lightweight and easy to move around. Found in a bathroom, this metal pick is about 6 inches long and has a tiny scoop on the end. Is it for self-care? Yes, this is a podiatry or pedicure tool. It's an ingrown toenail sidewall cleaner, or a nail lifter. The tiny scoop or angled end is designed to be carefully inserted under the edge of a toenail, particularly along the sides, to pick out and remove dead skin, lint from socks, and other debris that can accumulate in the nail fold. For people prone to ingrown toenails, keeping this area clean is an important part of preventative care. It's a specialized tool for detailed nail hygiene. This red plastic thread with some sort of dropper in the tip was found in a walk-in closet. What is this precision application tool? The thread is actually a flexible needle or a microtip applicator. This tool is designed for dispensing small, precise amounts of liquids, oils, or adhesives into hard-to-reach locations. The main body would be a small, squeezable bottle, which is missing here, and this flexible needle tip would screw onto it. These are used by hobbyists for oiling small mechanisms in models or clocks, by crafters for applying glue with precision, or in electronics for applying flux or other fluids. The dropper-like shape at the very tip ensures a controlled flow. Found in a grandmother's stuff, this is a slightly transparent hard plastic thing with a small metal loop on the end. It's purple. At first, the finder thought it was a paper creaser, then a needle threader, but the metal thing is too big for that. What is it? The commenter has one. This is a folding tool that came with a photo kit from the 90s, likely one of those creative memories or similar scrapbooking or photo mounting kits. The main plastic part, which is like a bone folder, is indeed used for making crisp creases in paper or cardstock. The metal loop at the end might have been used for burnishing, rubbing, adhesive transfers, or perhaps for another specialized task within that specific photo crafting system. It's a multi-purpose tool from the world of traditional scrapbooking. This small black stone-like thing was found on a beach. It looks a bit like the top of a baby bottle. What is it? The best guess is that this is an old bottle stopper that has been worn down by the sand and waves. It's probably made of ebonite, not stone. Ebonite, also known as vulcanite, is a brand name for a type of very hard, vulcanized rubber that was invented in the mid-19th century. It was commonly used to make many items before the advent of modern plastics, including bottle stoppers, smoking pipe stems, and electrical insulators. After years of tumbling in the ocean, it would be worn smooth and could be mistaken for stone. This black-white plastic cylinder was found inside a Burger King soda cup. It's lightweight, and an inside piece rotates freely but is trapped inside. There is no text on it. What is this? It's the spout from the soda fountain. This is the nozzle part of the beverage dispenser from which the soda flows into the cup. They are designed to mix the syrup and carbonated water and to provide a smooth, non-splashing flow. They are removable for cleaning. This one has likely come loose and fallen into the finder's cup as it was being filled. The commenter notes that the restaurant staff will appreciate it if you give it back, as without it, the machine will just spray unmixed syrup and water everywhere. This is a plastic triangle thing with a triple ziplock, and it looks like it hangs around the neck. What is it for? This looks like a waterproof bag, designed for carrying small valuables, like a phone, keys, cash, or credit cards, to the beach, a pool, a water park, or when boating. The triple ziplock seal, often combined with a fold-over Velcro flap, is designed to create a watertight closure, protecting the contents from water damage. The lanyard or strap allows it to be worn securely around the neck or shoulder, keeping your valuables with you and safe while you are in or near the water. This small, solid, pointy tool has a stiff rubber cover. It's 4 centimeters long and was found at the bottom of a race stage, suggesting a connection to mountain bikes. What is it? While it was found at a bike race, this looks like a Dremel bit. A Dremel is a popular brand of handheld rotary tool, and they come with a huge variety of small, interchangeable bits for grinding, cutting, polishing, and engraving. This looks like a grinding or engraving bit, with a specific shape for detailed work. The stiff rubber cover would just be a protective cap for the sharp tip. A bike mechanic might have one in their toolbox for custom work or small repairs, which could explain how it ended up at a race. This steel object, about 16 inches long, is a construction-related item. Google says it's a Simpson product, but the finder can't find this specific design in their catalog. What is it? This is a hurricane tie, also known as a seismic anchor or a foundation strap. It's not a Simpson one, but a similar design from a different manufacturer. This is a critical piece of structural hardware used in areas prone to hurricanes or earthquakes. The angled L-shaped end of the tie is embedded into the wet concrete of the building's foundation when it is poured. The long, flat part with the nail holes then extends up and is securely nailed to the wooden framing, the sill plate of the wall. This creates a strong, continuous connection that anchors the wood structure of the house firmly to the concrete foundation, preventing it from being lifted off or sliding off during high winds or an earthquake. A square plastic thing is glued to the bathroom wall next to a sink by the previous owner. What is it? It's the wall mounting bracket for a toilet brush holder. Many modern bathroom accessory sets include a toilet brush that comes with a holder or caddy. Some of these are designed to be wall-mounted to keep them off the floor, which makes cleaning the floor easier. This square plastic piece would be glued or screwed to the wall, and the toilet brush holder itself would then slide or clip onto this bracket. The previous owner likely took the brush and holder with them when they moved, leaving only the glued-on bracket behind. Donated to a charity shop along with foreign currency, this is a brown, small piece of leathery paper, about 1 inch long. The finder is unsure of its origin or value. What is it? The text on this small paper chit indicates it is a 0.05 franc voucher from the Bureau de Bienfaisance, which translates to the Charity or Welfare Office. This is likely a form of scrip or a token that was issued by a charitable organization, probably in France or another French-speaking country, that could be redeemed for goods or services of a certain value, 5 centimes. It is a piece of social history, but its current value to collectors is likely minimal, unless it is particularly rare or from a notable institution. This roundish pink and black device was seen in a photo taken in 2012. It's tiny, has a wrist strap, and a black screen on the top half. The finder feels like it's a camcorder, but can't remember. What is it? This is an MP3 player. In the era just before smartphones completely took over, there was a huge variety of small, portable MP3 players in all sorts of shapes and sizes. This one, with its small screen for displaying track information, its pink and black color scheme, and a wrist strap for portability, is a classic example of a personal music device from the early 2010s. The small, roundish shape was a common design for these compact and often fashion-oriented gadgets. Found in a drawer, this is a bag of probably steel, fairly weighty parts. The embossed number on them seems to correspond to an angle. What are these medical hardware pieces? These are flexion and extension stops for a DonJoy functional knee brace. DonJoy is a major manufacturer of orthopedic braces. After knee surgery, like an ACL reconstruction, or a serious knee injury, a patient is often prescribed a hinged knee brace. These small, precisely angled metal or plastic stops are inserted into the hinge mechanism of the brace by a doctor or physical therapist. They are used to control the brace's range of motion, preventing the knee from bending, flexion, or straightening, extension, past a specific safe angle during the recovery process. This gray rectangle with rounded edges is on a pole secured to the chimney on the roof of a house in France. The finder guesses it's an aerial. What kind? This is a directional panel antenna. It's most likely for a Wi-Fi system or a cellular booster. Unlike an omnidirectional antenna that sends and receives signals in all directions, a panel antenna focuses the signal in a specific direction. This would be used to create a point-to-point wireless link, perhaps sending an internet connection to another building on the property, or to connect to a distant cell tower. The antenna would be aimed precisely at the target tower to get a much stronger and more reliable signal for a cellular booster system, which is very common in rural areas with weak cell service. This box is full of switches, lights, and a phone dial. There are holes on each side. The finder is thinking of cleaning it up and using it as a side table. What was it used for? This is probably DIY testing or maintenance equipment for analog telephony. In the days of landlines and complex analog phone systems, technicians and maintenance staff sometimes built their own custom testing equipment when off-the-shelf devices couldn't meet their specific needs. This box, with its collection of switches, indicator lights, and a rotary phone dial, was likely a one-of-a-kind device used to test circuits, simulate calls, and diagnose problems in an old phone system. It's useless now for its original purpose, but as the commenter says, it looks cool and would make a great conversation piece. This thin plastic material has a printed design of a club audience, musicians, or dancers. It's about 4'1 inches. What is it? Given its size, thinness, and decorative print, this is almost certainly a bookmark. The design, depicting a lively scene of a club or performance, would be a fun and fitting theme for a bookmark used in a book about music, dance, or nightlife. Many companies, bookstores, or even events produce promotional bookmarks like this as an inexpensive giveaway item. Its simple rectangular shape is classic for this purpose. This metal plier tightener thing was found buried in the backyard of a house from 1940 in Southwest Virginia. It's about 6 inches top to bottom. What is this vintage tool? This is a battery cable puller. In older cars, the battery terminals that clamped onto the lead posts of the battery could become severely corroded and seized on. This specialized tool was designed to safely remove them. The jaws of the puller would be placed under the terminal, and by tightening the screw on the tool, it would pull the terminal straight up and off the battery post, without damaging the post or the battery casing, which could happen if you tried to pry it off with a screwdriver. A helicopter is seen carrying a device near a 150-acre marshland and forest preserve in Illinois. What is it doing? Yep, that's mosquito spraying. The device carried by the helicopter is a spraying system, likely consisting of a tank to hold the insecticide, larvicide, and a boom with nozzles to disperse it as a fine mist. Local mosquito abatement districts often use helicopters or airplanes for aerial spraying, especially to control mosquito populations in large, inaccessible areas like marshes, wetlands, and forest preserves where mosquitoes breed. This is a common public health measure to reduce the nuisance of mosquitoes and the risk of mosquito-borne diseases. Found at a Goodwill, this is a small wooden storage unit, 9.7 inches, with little shelves that slide in and out. It's not very heavy. What is this specific storage organizer for? This is identified as a Totally Tiffany desk-made pen and ink palace. Totally Tiffany is a brand that makes a wide range of organizational products, specifically for crafters. The Pen and Ink Palace is a desktop organizer designed to hold crafting supplies like ink pads, markers, pens, and other small tools. The sliding shelves provide easy access to the items stored inside. It's a purpose-built piece of furniture for a craft room designed to keep a crafter's supplies neat and accessible. This drain-type thing has a pipe that is always draining into the storm sewer. The finder thinks it's to alleviate groundwater to avoid sinkholes. What is it? The commenter's guess, after suggesting checking Google Street View for older images, is that this was a hydrant or a water sampling station that was hit by a vehicle and damaged. The valve inside is just not all the way shut, which is causing the constant draining. A water sampling station is a small, designated access point to a water main where utility workers can draw samples to test the water quality. A constant flow like this indicates a fault or damage that needs to be reported to the local water utility. This clear plexiglass screen with 2 sharp metal stakes was in the garage of a house the finder moved into. It looks like one of those screens a business would use earlier in the COVID pandemic, but not quite. What is it? The commenter agrees with the finder's first instinct, but notes that it is definitely homemade, not factory-made. The metal on the edge is identified as tile trim edging. This was likely a DIY sneeze guard or protection screen created by the previous homeowner during the COVID-19 pandemic. The sharp metal stakes are the unusual part. Perhaps they were intended to be stuck into the ground for an outdoor gathering or into a large planter to create a temporary barrier between people. Its true, specific purpose may only be known to the person who made it. Found while digging, this is around the size and shape of a 9V battery. What is it? Brother, I think that's a 9V battery. As the commenter points out, if you look closely at the corroded remains, you can often see the faint outlines of the 6 small 1.5-volt EOTA-like cells that are packed inside the outer casing of a standard 9-volt battery to sum to a total of 9 volts. Over many years of being buried in the ground, the outer metal jacket can rust away, sometimes leaving the internal cell structure visible. It is simply a very old and heavily corroded battery. This is a still from the 1996 documentary Paradise Lost. A news photographer in the courtroom has this gold-colored frame-like thing around his camera body. The finder, a reporter at that time, doesn't remember seeing anything like that. What is it? This is a homemade blimp. In environments where sound is critical, like a movie set or a quiet courtroom, the sound of a still camera's shutter and mirror slap can be very disruptive. A blimp is a sound-dampening enclosure that the camera is placed inside. Commercial blimps were very expensive, so there were many DIY plans available for photographers to make their own out of materials like foam, metal, and fabric. This customizability also meant they could be tailored to a specific camera and lens setup. This is a great example of a photojournalist's ingenuity from the film era. A finder discovered 5 to 6 of these small white balls in their bed. They were really hard, but when crushed, they released some kind of liquid. What are they? These might be sphinx moth eggs. Sphinx moths, also known as hawk moths, are a family of large, powerful flying moths. Their eggs are typically spherical or slightly oval and can be pale green or whitish. It is possible a moth got into the house and laid her eggs on a fabric surface in the bed. The hard shell and liquid inside are characteristic of many insect eggs. While it's hard to be 100% certain without a clear picture, this is a plausible explanation for the mysterious, crushable white balls. This rectangular polarized plug is in a house from 1950. What is it? This is likely an old antenna connection. Before cable or satellite TV, homes received television and radio signals via an antenna, which was often mounted on the roof. The signal from the antenna was then brought into the house via a special type of flat cable called twin-lead, or 300-ohm cable. This wall plate, with its 2 polarized connection points, would have been the outlet where you would connect this twin-lead cable from your television set to the main antenna line, a precursor to the modern round coaxial cable jacks. This metal object with wheels looks like a dolly, but for something specific. It was found buried in a shed. What is it for? This is a motorbike paddock stand. It is a tool used to lift either the rear or front wheel of a motorcycle off the floor. This is essential for performing maintenance tasks, like cleaning the chain, changing a tire, or doing brake work. This particular one, fitted with L brackets, is a universal type that lifts the bike by the swing arm. Track day riders also use them for fitting tire warmers. It's a must-have piece of equipment for any motorcycle enthusiast who works on their own bike. This circular metal structure, probably 30 feet across, is in an industrial part of the Oakland, CA marina. There are some submerged metal fence-like things outside of this 3/4 circle. What is it? That's the Wave Oculus Public Fishing Pier. It is a piece of public art and a functional fishing pier designed by artist Scott Oliver and installed in 2018 at the Middle Harbor Shoreline Park in Oakland. The structure is designed to look like a crashing wave and provides a unique architectural feature for the park, as well as a designated spot for people to fish in the bay. The submerged fence-like things are likely part of its foundation or are an unrelated feature of the marina. These are little tinfoil cups, just over an inch in diameter, with a little handle. There were 50 to 100 of them littering the ground. What are they for? This looks like the materials that are given out at safe injection sites or through harm reduction programs. These small, sterile foil cups, or cookers, are used by individuals who inject drugs. They use the cup to heat and liquefy the drugs, often with a small amount of water or citric acid, before drawing the solution into a syringe. Their presence in large numbers littering the ground is a sign of public drug use in the area and is a serious public health and safety concern. Bought at a garage sale, these are wall adhesive shelf things. The top is a slotted shelf, and the bottom has a rotating smooth-edged square with less than a centimeter of space between it and the shelf. What are they? This is pretty sure to be a wall mount for a small security camera, like a Wisecam or a similar model. The adhesive pad sticks it to the wall. The camera itself would be placed on the slotted shelf. The rotating square on the bottom is a clever feature for cord management. You would wrap the camera's excess power cord around this rotating part to keep it neat and tidy, with just the right length of cord running to the power outlet. This Bell Systems brass cylinder is 3 inches in diameter and was labeled as a paperweight at an antique shop. It has a Bell Systems stamp and a serial number on top. The words are mirrored. Is it truly a paperweight? Perhaps this is a jeweler's die for making service award pins for the Bell Systems company. A die is a hardened metal tool used to press or stamp a shape into a softer material. A pellet of silver, gold, or another alloy would be placed in the hole of this die. A press would then be used to strike the die, imprinting the Bell Systems logo onto the metal pellet. A pin would then be welded to the back to create a lapel pin for an employee service award. This would explain why the words are mirrored, so they would appear correctly on the final pressed pin. This is a red squeeze thing, small, about the size of a lighter. It has the brand OXO on the side. The finder checked the OXO website but couldn't find it. What is this kitchen gadget? This is an OXO brand bread bag cinch. It is a clever and reusable alternative to the flimsy little plastic tabs or twist ties that come on a standard bag of sliced bread. You would gather the top of the plastic bread bag and then slide this cinch over the gathered part. The internal mechanism, likely a spring-loaded or cam-like grip, holds the bag securely closed, keeping the bread fresh. OXO is known for its ergonomic and user-friendly kitchen gadgets, and this is a classic example of their design philosophy. Found in the central part of Namibia, this is a 13.5 centimeter long, heavy, solid metal object. It is rusted, and the engravings read 75 7 X Ray 97. It has a hole at the top. Any idea what this could be from? This is a piece of a railway joint bar, also known as a fish plate. A joint bar is a metal bar that is bolted to the ends of two rails to join them together in a track. This looks like a fragment of one of these bars. The X-ray 97 marking is a key clue. Rail welds and critical components are often X-rayed to check for internal faults, and this would be the inspection marking, likely from 1997. The finder is asked if they found it near the Trans-Namib Railway route, as this is a very specific piece of railroad hardware. Found in the garage, this strip of padded fabric has two metal loops. The finder thinks it's gym equipment. What is it? It is indeed gym equipment. This is a foot strap or an ankle cuff for a cable machine. The padded cuff part is wrapped around the user's ankle and secured. The two metal D-rings are then clipped onto the carabiner of the low pulley on a cable weight stack machine. This allows the user to perform various lower body resistance exercises, such as leg kickbacks, adductor and abductor exercises, and hamstring curls using the resistance from the weight stack. The bare strap might go under the foot for certain exercises. Found with vintage bicycle parts from the 1950s, 1970s, this small metal box has wires in it. It doesn't appear to have moving parts and makes no sound when shaken. What is this? This is a battery-powered bike horn. It looks to be the exact model of a vintage Schwinn bike horn. The metal box would have held the batteries, likely D cells, and the horn mechanism. The wires would have run to a push-button switch that would be mounted on the bicycle's handlebars. When the button was pressed, it would complete the circuit, and the horn would emit a loud buzzing sound. It was a common accessory for bicycles, especially for children's models like the classic Schwinn Stingray in that era. This wooden baton object with a rubber and metal head was bought at an estate sale. What is this specific type of hammer? It looks like a carving mallet. Wood carvers and sculptors use a mallet rather than a hammer to strike their chisels and gouges. A mallet provides a softer, more controlled blow than a metal hammer, which can damage the handle of the chisel and is harder to control. The head of a carving mallet is often made of wood, a dense plastic, or, as in this case, a combination of rubber and metal to provide a good weight and a non-damaging striking surface. This rectangular object is on the wall in an Airbnb living area. It's connected to power but doesn't light up or make any sound. It's not near a bathroom or bedroom and doesn't appear to be a camera. What is it? This is an indoor thin flat HDTV TV antenna. For people who don't have cable or satellite, cord cutters, these antennas are used to receive free over-the-air digital television broadcasts from local TV stations. They are designed to be very thin and unobtrusive and are often stuck to a wall or a window. The power connection is for a small amplifier that is built into the antenna, which boosts the signal strength to provide a clearer picture, especially for stations that are further away. This has been in the Finder's family for many years. It's shaped like a somewhat flattened nail, with one side straight and the other curved. It has 4 squiggly lines near the top and a smooth top surface. What is it? This looks like a hairpin, specifically a type that would have been used to secure a hairbun or a chignon hairstyle. In the past, elaborate hairstyles were held in place with a variety of decorative and functional pins. This one, with its flattened shape and decorative squiggly lines, would have been inserted through the bun to hold it securely to the hair on the head. It might have been used in conjunction with a decorative comb or another hairpiece. It is an elegant piece of vintage hair accessory. This plastic tip has a debossed E and a pentagonal hole. It's 9 millimeter long and was found on a kitchen counter where many appliances are used. It looks almost like the clicker from a pen. Just want to make sure it's not a consequential part of something. This looks like a foot to some appliance. Many small kitchen appliances like blenders, coffee grinders, or stand mixers have small rubber or plastic feet on the bottom to prevent them from slipping on the counter and to dampen vibration. These feet are often press-fitted into a hole in the appliance's base. This small plastic piece, with its pentagonal shape for a secure fit, is very likely one of these feet that has fallen out. It's a good idea to check the bottoms of your appliances to see which one is now missing a foot. This thin, hammer-like tool has 2 different ends. It's rather light and unlikely to be used with force. One end is a vertical rectangle, and the other is a horizontal rectangle. There are no manufacturer markings. What is it? This is a pattern maker's hammer. A pattern maker is a highly skilled woodworker who creates the wooden patterns or models that are used to make the sand molds for casting metal parts in a foundry. This lightweight, specialized hammer, with its different shaped faces, peens, would be used for very delicate work, tapping small wooden parts of the pattern into place, setting small brads, and making fine adjustments to the pattern without damaging the wood. It is a tool for precision and finesse, not for heavy striking. This is a 5-inch long brass, hammer-looking thing that unscrews into 3 pieces. It is machined and heavy. The finder thinks it might be a hammer for a gavel. What is it? This is a mikugi-nuki. It is a specialized tool used to help remove the mikugi pegs from a Japanese sword, katana. The mikugi is a small bamboo peg that passes through the handle, datsuka, and the sword's tang, securing the handle to the blade. To disassemble the sword for cleaning or maintenance, these pegs must be pushed out. The brass hammer of the mikugi-nuki is used to gently tap a small pushing tool, often stored inside the handle of the mikugi-nuki itself, hence the 3 pieces, which is used to push the peg out. It is an essential tool for any Japanese sword owner. A pair of fairly heavy metal fittings with long hexagonal screws that can be tightened with an Allen key were found in a backpack in an attic in the UK. What might these be from? They look like they are for mounting a TV on the wall. Specifically, this is likely a system where a picture frame style wire is installed on the back of the TV. These 2 metal fittings are then securely installed into the wall studs. You then hang the wire on the TV across these 2 sturdy mounts, similar to how you would hang a heavy painting. The long hex screws are for anchoring the mounts deep into the wall studs to safely support the weight of the television. This metal tool was found while cleaning a cabinet at a chassis shop. It has markings like S-cam, Eaton, and wedge. The finder believes it might be for brakes. What is it for? Yes, it is a brake shoe gauge. This is a specialized measuring tool used by mechanics who work on heavy-duty drum brakes, like the S-cam and wedge brakes found on semi-trucks and trailers. Eaton is a major manufacturer of these brake systems. This gauge is used to measure the thickness of the brake shoe lining to determine if it is worn out and needs to be replaced. It provides a quick and accurate go, no-go measurement, ensuring the brakes are serviced correctly and remain safe. This small, mostly red plastic piece, a little over an inch high, may have come in a bungee container. It has 2 pop-on metal pieces that look like eyes and 2 screws on each side with washers that can be screwed up and down. What is it? A reverse image search says this comes with a new car or utility battery. When you buy a new battery that has both top posts and side terminals, it often comes with a small plastic holder like this one. This holder contains the extra screws, washers, or terminal adapters that you might need to connect your battery cables, depending on which type of connection your vehicle uses. It's just a convenient piece of packaging to keep all the small, easy-to-lose hardware together with the new battery. Found on the street in San Francisco, this is a metal pointy thing with a now missing handle. The tip looks original and not ground down. The back end is smooth, and the larger end has knurling, which would have been for the handle. What is it? This looks like a scratch-awl. A scratch-awl is a simple but fundamental hand tool used by woodworkers and leatherworkers. It consists of a sharp, pointed steel spike with a handle. Its primary use is for scribing or scratching lines onto a workpiece to mark a layout for cutting or drilling. It can also be used to create a starting hole for a screw or a drill bit. The knurling on the tang is where it would have been securely set into a wooden or plastic handle that has since broken off and been lost. A friend gave this pretty 8-inch, 2-piece ceramic dish with holes in the top piece. It's not a flower frog as it can't hold water, and the holes are too big for skewers. What is it used for? This is a burner for incense cones. You would place a small incense cone in the hole in the center of the base dish. You then light the tip of the cone until it is smoldering and place the perforated ceramic cover on top. The smoke and fragrance from the burning incense cone will then waft out through the decorative holes in the cover. The commenter, who has worked in head shops, confirms these are common items. Found in the laundry after a wash, this is a soft material that feels like aluminum foil. A central rectangle is attached to a small piece of transparent plastic. The two wires feel soft. The finder guesses the central thing might be a passive RFID tag. Is this correct? The finder's guess is spot on. This could be from an anti-theft sticker, specifically a disposable RFID, radio frequency identification, or AM, acoustomagnetic security tag. These flat, flexible tags are often stuck onto merchandise in retail stores. The foil parts are the antenna, and the central rectangle is the small chip or resonator. When an item with an active tag is passed through the security gates at the store's exit, it triggers an alarm. This one was likely on a newly purchased item of clothing and was forgotten to be removed before washing, causing it to fall off in the laundry. This round metal end cap-like piece is 1.5 inches in diameter, 1 inch deep, hollow, and has a possible screw hole for attaching. What is it? This is the dome, or gong, from a bicycle bell. The classic bicycle bell consists of this metal dome and a mechanism underneath with a small striker that is operated by a thumb lever. When the lever is flicked, the striker hits the dome, producing the familiar ring-ring sound. This is just the top, sound-producing part, which has become separated from the mounting bracket and the ringing mechanism. The screw hole would have been for the bolt that held the entire assembly together and onto the handlebars. Roughly the size of a pencil, this is made of plastic with a metal prong at the end. What is this specialized key for? It's a lock change key for electronic ATM locks or similar high-security electronic safe locks. When a safe combination needs to be changed, a technician or an authorized user must use a special key like this one. It is inserted into a specific port on the lock, often in conjunction with entering the old code, which then puts the lock into a change mode, allowing a new combination to be set. It is a very specific and high-security tool, not for everyday use. This orange ball with a 7 marked inside a circle was found in the dishwasher of a rental. A quarter is used for scale. It has a molding seam around its equator. What is it? This is a check ball, a component from inside the dishwasher's drain system. Its purpose is to act as a one-way valve. After the dishwasher pumps the dirty water out, this lightweight ball settles down into the drain opening, preventing any of that dirty water from flowing back into the dishwasher tub. It is a simple but important part for ensuring a hygienic wash cycle. It can sometimes become dislodged during cleaning or if the dishwasher is moved, ending up loose inside the machine. This is a plastic container with a hole and a groove, about 10 inches tall. It was found when cleaning a pantry, but the finder has no recollection of it. A guess is a Brita filter part. What is it? This might be part of a food storage container set. One of the linked examples shows a set that includes multiple stackable containers. This piece, with its hole and groove, could be a lid, a divider, or a specialized insert from such a set, perhaps for storing a specific type of food, like pasta, with the hole for measuring a serving, or as part of a pouring or dispensing lid. Without the other parts of the set, its function is hard to determine, but it is likely a component of a larger modular food storage system. This white block, found with kitchen stuff, is branded meterk. It's 6 centimeter on the long side, light for its size, hard, and has a rough, grainy texture. The finder wonders if it's a whetstone. The finder's guess is almost certainly correct. This is a whetstone, or a sharpening stone. The meterk brand produces various tools, including sharpening kits. A whetstone is a block of abrasive material used to sharpen the edges of knives and other cutting tools. They come in various grits, with coarser grits used for initial sharpening, and finer grits used for honing a razor-sharp edge. This small white block is likely a high-grit finishing stone, part of a larger knife sharpening set. Its rough, grainy texture is the abrasive surface. This is a scraper and a round item from a kid's doctor's kit. The kit was in Chinese, so the purpose is unclear. What are these toy instruments supposed to be? The pink thing with the round top is likely a toy version of the bendable examination light that doctors use in surgery or dental exams. The doctor can bend the arm of the light to direct a bright beam exactly where they need to see. In a kid's toy set, this would be a fun prop for pretend examinations. The scraper is likely a toy tongue depressor or a dental mirror, other common tools in a doctor's kit. This small, soft rubber bumper thingy was found on a kitchen counter near a coffee machine and fridge. A new fridge was delivered a few days before. It's hollow inside. What is it? This is the cover for the refrigerator's waterline connector. When a new refrigerator with an ice maker or a water dispenser is delivered, the copper or plastic water supply line from the house is connected to a valve on the back of the fridge. This small rubber or silicone cover is often on that connector valve from the factory to keep it clean during shipping. The installer would remove this cover before connecting the water line, and it was likely dropped on the floor and forgotten. This sensor, our LED lamp-looking object, is on a hotel room ceiling right above the bed. It emits a dimmed white, bluish light. There's no brand name, and the movement sensor doesn't seem to be working. What is it? Can you see an actual light bulb in there? This could be a fiber optic skylight. A fiber optic skylight system collects natural sunlight on the roof of a building using a special lens or collector. This collected light is then channeled through a highly reflective tube or a bundle of fiber optic cables down to a diffuser fixture like this one on the ceiling of an interior room that has no direct access to natural light. It provides natural daylight to windowless spaces. The dimmed light would be the sunlight being transmitted from the roof. This wooden item was found in a grandpa's home. What is this simple, handle-like wooden object? This looks like a small billy club or a truncheon. A billy club is a short, stout club, traditionally made of wood and carried by police officers, security guards, or civilians for self-defense. They come in many shapes and sizes. This small one might have been kept in a car, by a bedside, or as part of a collection. Its simple turned wood design with a shaped grip is characteristic of this type of impact tool. Under a sink in NYC, there is a cylinder with a rod inside that you can pull up and let fall down. What does it do and why? You must be in NYC. This is a standing waste valve. It is an old-fashioned type of stopper mechanism for a bathtub. The cylinder is the drain's overflow tube. The rod inside is connected to the actual drain plug or stopper at the bottom of the tub. By pulling this rod up or pushing it down, often via a lever or a knob on the overflow plate, you would raise or lower the stopper to open or close the bathtub drain. As the commenter notes, they are a feature of many older NYC apartment buildings, and they often don't work anymore. A large air mover, blower, is positioned in the front door of a neighbor's house with a gas tank connected to it. The fan is blowing inside the house, and there has been a ton of rain recently. Any ideas? The recent ton of rain is the key clue. This is a large, industrial air mover or blower, the kind used by water damage restoration companies. After a house has been flooded or suffered significant water intrusion, these powerful fans are used to circulate large volumes of air to rapidly dry out carpets, drywall, and structural wood, which is essential to prevent mold growth. The external gas tank indicates that the blower is powered by a gasoline engine, allowing it to be used even if the house's power is out, or if it requires more power than a standard electrical circuit can provide. These plastic discs in various colors are found almost every time the finder picks up trash in their neighborhood in Georgia, often within a block of a Home Depot. What are they? This looks like the plastic cap from a plastic cap roofing nail or staple. When installing house wrap or insulation sheathing, contractors use fasteners that have a large plastic cap. The cap provides a much wider surface area than a regular nail head, which prevents the fastener from tearing through the thin house wrap or foam board material. During construction, especially on a windy day, these small, lightweight plastic caps are easily dropped or blown around a job site, which explains why they are so commonly found as litter in areas with new construction. These are thin metal pieces in pastel colors, about 3 feet tall, curved at the bottom with a hole. What could they be from? These could be pieces of an old commercial metal umbrella, the kind you might find on a patio at a cafe or a public pool. The thin metal pieces would be the ribs that support the umbrella's canopy. The curve at the bottom would be where the ribs connect to the central pole, and the hole would be for the pin that holds them in the hinge mechanism. The pastel colors would be from the original painted finish. After the fabric of an old, large patio umbrella is destroyed by sun and weather, the metal frame is often all that remains. Found while metal detecting in the U.S. Southeast, this ferrous object weighs about 2 lbs. The land could have been farmland at some point. What is it? This looks like an oarlock, also spelled rowlock. An oarlock is the U-shaped piece of hardware that is mounted on the gunnel, the top edge of the side, of a rowboat. It acts as the pivot point or fulcrum for an oar, allowing the rower to efficiently transfer their energy to the water. They are typically made of a strong, durable metal, like galvanized iron, which would be ferrous, and rust, or bronze. Its discovery on land that might have been farmland is still plausible, as farms often have ponds or are adjacent to rivers where a small rowboat would have been used. Found at an antique shop, this glass object has a metal cap on the spout, which is actually solid. It looks like it might be broken off a larger piece at the bottom. What is this piece of decorative glass? This is a piece of a Murano chandelier, or another type of Murano lighting fixture. Murano glass is a famous type of art glass made on the island of Murano near Venice, Italy. Murano chandeliers are known for their elaborate and ornate designs, often featuring many individual hand-blown glass components like leaves, flowers, and decorative arms, like this one. The solid spout and the metal cap are the tenon or mounting point where this decorative arm would be inserted into a corresponding hole in the main body of the chandelier. It is a very recognizable fragment from a high-end, artistic light fixture. Found along a beach in West Iceland, this is a rusted metal mechanism, around 5 feet tall. What is this piece of old workshop machinery? It's what is left of a band saw. A band saw is a power tool that uses a long, continuous metal blade with teeth stretched between 2 or more wheels to cut materials. This rusted frame would have been the main body of the band saw. The commenter notes it's missing the top wheel, the motor, the table, and the blade guides. The C-shaped frame is a very characteristic shape for a bandsaw. How it ended up on a beach in Iceland is a mystery, but it is the skeletal remains of a common woodworking and metalworking tool. This is a hard, somewhat tacky yellow base with a metal spacer and a wing nut attached. It was found in a bathroom drawer, and the finder worries someone broke it off something. What is it? The commenter's guess is that it is a mounting bracket that holds the sink on from underneath the counter and that it has broken off, taking a chunk of the cultured marble countertop with it. Cultured marble sinks and countertops are a composite material. This hardware, A bracket with a threaded stud, spacer, and wing nut would have been glued to the underside of the countertop. A corresponding clip would then attach to the sink basin, and the wing nut would be tightened to pull the sink up and secure it. The yellow, tacky base is the broken-off piece of the cultured marble itself. This red stake, labeled Marine Patrol, is in a tidal bay in Maine. It's 3-4 feet tall and appeared about 2 weeks ago. It's the only stake in the whole bay on this side. What is it for? Searching for Marine Patrol, red stake, and Maine brings up references to the use of red stakes to mark off areas of shellfish conservation closures. State agencies like the Marine Patrol will close certain coastal areas to the harvesting of clams, mussels, or oysters due to contamination, like from red tide, or for conservation reasons to allow shellfish populations to recover. These red stakes are used as clear physical markers to delineate the boundaries of the closed area, and entering or harvesting within this area would be illegal. This metal object is in the Caucasian Mountains in Georgia, about 2 meters high. What is this piece of weather or environmental monitoring equipment? This is an M70 rain gauge, a type of precipitation measuring device. More specifically, it's a storage gauge or totalizer designed for use in remote, often mountainous, locations where it can't be checked daily. Rain and snow are collected in the large funnel at the top and are channeled into the large storage container below. An oil layer is often added to the container to prevent evaporation of the collected water. A technician would visit the site periodically, e.g. monthly or seasonally, to measure the total amount of precipitation that has accumulated, providing valuable climatological data for remote areas. Found by a 7-year-old on his school playground, this is heavy like a tool and has threaded holes all over it. A piece unscrews and has an E on it. What is this? This is an air connection for a paintball marker, also known as an ASA, air source adapter. Specifically, it looks like an ASA made by the brand Evil. This is the part on the grip of a paintball marker where you screw in the high-pressure air tank. The threaded holes are for mounting it to the marker, and the main large hole is where the tank connects. The small piece with the E is likely the knob or on-off pin for controlling the flow of air from the tank into the marker. What is this fenced-off area which contains a blue barrel? Without being able to read the label on the barrel, a definitive identification is impossible. However, a fenced-off area containing a lone barrel can signify several things. It could be a collection point for a specific type of waste, hazardous, chemical, or otherwise, that needs to be kept separate and secure. It could also be a temporary storage site for materials used in nearby construction or environmental monitoring, with the fence providing security. As the commenter cheekily notes, if a picture were taken of the label, the mystery would likely solve itself. This is a very heavy cast iron object, weighing 50+ pounds. It's about 12 to 14 inches long, with a small stud sticking out the small end. It looks like a broken broomstick is in a hole in the top of the large end. What is it? This is an antique cast iron balance beam weight. A balance beam scale is a type of scale with a central pivot and 2 pans. To weigh an object, you place it on one pan and add known weights to the other pan until they balance. However, for weighing very heavy items, a sliding weight system is used on a long beam. This heavy cast iron weight, with its specific shape, would be the main counterweight, or poise, that slides along the graduated beam of a large platform scale, like those used at a grain elevator, a freight depot, or a cotton gin to weigh wagons or large quantities of goods. This small plastic object with a head that moves in a rail came from a sewing kit. What is this helpful sewing notion? This looks like a type of automatic or semi-automatic needle threader. Threading a sewing machine needle can be a fiddly task, especially for those with less than perfect eyesight. This gadget is designed to make it easier. The user would place it over the needle, and the mechanism, with its head that moves in a rail, would guide a tiny hook through the eye of the needle. The user would then lay the thread across the hook, and when the device is removed, it pulls a loop of thread back through the needle's eye, threading it instantly. This small black plastic thing is permanently affixed to the front edge of a new entertainment stand. The finder can't even come close to figuring out what it's for. This is a stopper to prevent TVs from sliding off the stand. This is a safety feature that only works with older TVs or certain modern ones that have a flat pedestal base instead of the widely spaced legs that are common now. The TV's flat base would be pushed up against this stopper. This prevents the TV from being accidentally pushed or sliding forward and falling off the front of the entertainment stand, which is especially important in households with children or pets. Purchased at an auction, this old wooden conical-shaped tool is 22 inches long with a 3.5-inch diameter metal base. There are small bits of rope wedged between the wood and the base. The finder thought it might be a rope rigging fid, but the base is unusual for that. What is it? This is an antique grommet horn. It is a tool used by sailmakers or canvas workers to install metal grommets into the edge of a sail or a piece of heavy canvas. The sharp end of the wooden cone would first be used, often with a mallet, to punch a hole in the fabric. Then, the grommet would be placed in the hole, and the tool, with its shaped metal base, would be used as an anvil or form, along with another setting tool, to hammer the two halves of the metal grommet together, securing it permanently to the fabric. It is a classic tool from the age of sail and canvas work. These are two metal clamps found in a random toolbox collection. The main box is about 1.5 inches by 0.75 inches. One side has fangs for gripping. Nuts can be tightened. What are they? This looks to be a cat paw cleat for an Arctic cat snowmobile from the 1980s. These cleats, or studs, are bolted through the rubber track of the snowmobile. The fangs, or sharp points, grip into ice and hard-packed snow, providing significantly improved traction and control, especially for acceleration, braking, and cornering. They are an essential performance and safety accessory for snowmobiling in icy conditions. These would be spare parts kept in a toolbox. Found in New Zealand, this appears to be made of bakelite and is broken at the end of the stem part. The back reads, "Sting Indestructible Philadelphia." It's about the size of a child's headphones broken in half and has the number 34 debossed on the stem. It was found where people dumped stuff 100 plus years ago. What is it? After some clever sleuthing, this has been linked to the Hastings Rubber Truss Co. out of Philadelphia. This object is part of a medical truss. A truss is a type of supportive device worn to manage a hernia by applying pressure to the affected area. This bakelite piece, likely with a soft pad that has since rotted away, would have been the pressure pad of the truss, held in place by a system of straps. It is a piece of antique medical equipment from the late 19th or early 20th century. This metal object, measuring 2 inches by 1 to 4 inch, was found on the wreck of the Forest Queen off the coast of Scituate, Massachusetts. It has some markings on it. Its shape suggests it's a tool, but what specific maritime task would it have been used for on a 19th century sailing vessel? This sort of looks like a small caulking iron, though the shape is a bit odd and it might be broken. A caulking iron is a fundamental tool in traditional wooden shipbuilding. It's a type of chisel-like tool that was used to pack caulking material such as oakum, tarred fibers, into the seams between the wooden planks of a ship's hull. This process was essential for making the hull watertight. The caulking material would be driven into the seams using this iron and a special mallet. It is a true artifact from the age of wooden sailing ships. Found in a dad's toolbox, this tool is made by Castar in the USA and consists of metal pieces with various measurements on them. It seems designed for measuring very small gaps or clearances. What is this precision tool, and what is it used for? This tool is a feeler gauge. It consists of a series of small lengths of steel of different, precisely calibrated thicknesses. The measurements are marked on each individual blade. A feeler gauge is used by mechanics and machinists to measure gap widths. Common uses include measuring the clearance between a spark plug's electrodes, checking the valve clearances in an engine, or measuring the fit between two machine parts. The user would insert the blades of the gauge into the gap until one fits snugly, which then indicates the size of the gap. The shower head in a bathroom fell off, and this black stick thing was with it. It snapped in the finder's hand, revealing it was hollow with a filament-like material inside. The shower works without it. What was it? This was probably a piece of charcoal to purify the water. This is a simple, often gimmicky type of inline water filter. The black rod is a stick of activated carbon. The theory is that as water flows past it, the carbon will absorb chlorine and other impurities, supposedly improving the water quality. The commenter correctly notes that this passive method doesn't really work effectively, as proper filtration requires water to be forced through the carbon media. The shower will work perfectly well without this non-essential and largely ineffective filter stick. Seen at the end of a driveway in Oregon, this object is about 15 feet tall. The lower portion has a glass panel that faces the driveway. The structure itself looks empty inside. Is it a watchtower, a birdhouse, or a deer feeder? The best guess for this tall structure is a driveway periscope. This is a clever solution for a homeowner whose driveway has a dangerously obstructed view of the main road. If a wall, a hedge, or a small hill blocks the driver's view of oncoming traffic as they are exiting their driveway, they can install a system of mirrors in a tall enclosure like this one. The top mirror would be positioned high up to see over the obstruction, and it would reflect the view of the road down to the lower mirror, the glass panel, which the driver can see from their car. This allows them to check for traffic safely before pulling out. This is a small, metal, right-angle item, light in the hand and not magnetic. It has a rounded hex profile on the protrusion that is threaded into the bar. It was found in a kid's trunk after scout camp. What could it be? This could be the bolt or the strike plate pin from a door lock, specifically a deadbolt or a similar type of lock. The right angle shape and the threaded protrusion are common features of lock hardware. It might be a component from a lock on a footlocker or a trunk used for scout camp, or a piece of hardware from a cabin or building at the camp that came loose and was picked up by the scout as an interesting object. Its non-magnetic nature suggests it's made of brass, aluminum, or stainless steel. Found on an old farm in Sweden, this metal object is most likely over 100 years old. It's fairly heavy and seems to have been used to lock something. The key part can rotate but can't be extracted. What could it be? This is a well sweep bucket safety hook. A well sweep is a long, pivoted pole with a bucket on one end and a counterweight on the other, used to lift water from a shallow well. This special hook would be used to attach the bucket to the pole. The rotating key part is a safety mechanism. Once the bucket handle was on the hook, turning this part would lock it in place, preventing the heavy bucket full of water from accidentally detaching from the pole and falling back into the well. This is a heavy metal object with no markings. A hole in the front is where a carbide button used to be, which has been knocked out. What is this industrial tool? This is a pick or a tooth from a mining or heavy construction machine. It's used to cut through coal or soft rock. These picks are mounted on the rotating drum of a continuous mining machine, a road planer, or a trencher. The main body is made of tough steel, and the very tip, which is now missing, would have had an extremely hard tungsten carbide button that did the actual cutting. This one has been worn out, with the carbide tip knocked off, which is probably why it was replaced and discarded. This consists of a springy wire and a metal tube with a clamping screw. The thumb screw loosens and tightens to clamp the bent tube over the long springy wire. It's a long loop. This is a drain snake, also known as a drain auger. It is used to clear clogs in plumbing drains. The long springy wire is the snake that is fed into the drain pipe. The metal tube with the clamping screw is the handle. You would feed the snake into the drain until you feel the clog. Then, you tighten the thumb screw to clamp the handle to the snake. By turning this handle, you can rotate the snake, allowing its corkscrew-like tip to break up or hook onto the obstruction so it can be cleared. This long metal structure was seen in the front yard of a large home built in the 1930s. It has a metal pole about 15 feet long that is bent downward, though it may have originally been straight. The base holding it up is hollow. The finder's best guess is some kind of flagpole. Is this correct? The finder's guess is correct. This is a bent flagpole, specifically a tilting or pivoting flagpole. The base would be set permanently in the ground. The pole itself would be designed to pivot within this base, allowing the entire pole to be lowered to a horizontal position. This makes it much easier and safer to attach or remove the flag, or to perform maintenance on the pole without needing a ladder. Unfortunately, this one has been badly bent, likely due to a storm or an impact, preventing it from being returned to its upright position. This table was found while emptying an old barn. It has grips that close when a pedal is pushed. The grips have a small divot on them and adjustable screws. The barn also had a lot of horse equipment. What is this specific clamping table for? This is a machine for making natural material wreaths. A metal wreath form, or ring, would be placed on the table. The user would then lay fresh greenery branches, like pine or fir, over the form. By stepping on the foot pedal, the powerful grips or clamps close, bending a small metal tab from the wreath form over the branches and crimping it tightly, securing the greenery to the frame. This process is repeated all the way around the ring. The linked video shows one in action. It's a specialized tool for florists and crafters. These small, silver-colored rectangular objects were found in a box of random buttons passed down through generations. They are about an inch long, not stamped, and possibly made of zinc. What are they? These small, heavy rectangular pieces are drapery weights, also known as curtain weights. They are small, flat weights, traditionally made of lead or a lead zinc alloy, that are sewn into the bottom hem of curtains or drapes. Their purpose is to add weight to the fabric, which helps the curtains to hang straight and evenly, prevents them from being easily billowed by a breeze, and gives them a more professional, tailored look. Finding them in a grandmother's sewing box full of buttons is a very logical place for these essential drapery-making supplies. In the backyard of a sister's new house in eastern PA, this is a 6-foot metal pole with 3 hooks on top. Is it for laundry or lighting? It's the anchor post for a retracting clothesline. The main clothesline unit, which contains 1 or more spring-loaded lines, would be mounted on the house or another post. The user would then pull the lines out across the yard and hook them onto this anchor post. The 3 hooks on top would allow for multiple lines to be strung at once or offer different height options. The commenter bets that traces of the other end, the main housing unit, can be found on the vinyl siding of the house in the background. This white ceramic clown has a removable lid and is apparently not usable for tea lights. What is this piece of kitchen pottery? It's for storing onions or garlic. This is a type of ceramic storage crock, often with a novelty shape like this clown. It would typically have small ventilation holes, perhaps in the back, not visible in the picture, to allow air to circulate. Storing onions and garlic in a cool, dark, and well-ventilated container like this helps to keep them fresh and prevents them from sprouting prematurely. The removable lid is for adding and removing the produce. It is a functional piece of kitchen storage with a whimsical design. This ceramic bowl has a hole in the bottom. Its lid has cutouts, and the accompanying saucer has a spout. It holds about a quart. What is this for? This looks like a set for brewing loose leaf tea, specifically a type of infuser bowl that sits over a cup or pot. You would place the bowl, the main part with the hole, over your teapot. The lid, with its cutouts, might be for allowing steam to escape or for adding water. After the tea has steeped, you would lift the infuser bowl, and the brewed tea, having passed through the strainer hole, would be in the teapot below. The saucer with the spout is a drip catcher. You would place the wet infuser bowl on it, and the spout would allow you to neatly pour any remaining liquid away. This is a small plastic item with a strap about 3 inches long. The rubber strap fastens to a button. It was found in the house. What can it be? This is the cover from a collapsible fishing rod, often a telescoping rod. When a telescoping rod is collapsed, all the sections slide down into the handle, but the line guides are on the outside. This small plastic cover or cap is designed to fit over the tip of the collapsed rod. The strap is then used to secure all the line guides together into the rod itself, preventing them from getting tangled or damaged during transport or storage. Found outside on the ground near a worksite, this is a clear cylinder with a yellow ring inside and a reddish brown substance. What is this common piece of litter? This is a type of disposable plastic cigarette filter. Similar to the tar stopper brand, these are small plastic mouthpieces that a smoker would put on the end of a cigarette. The yellow ring is part of the internal filtering mechanism. The reddish or brown substance is the accumulated tar and other chemicals that the filter has trapped from the cigarette smoke. The clear cylinder is designed to allow the smoker to see this buildup, supposedly reinforcing the effectiveness of the filter. It is a piece of discarded smoking paraphernalia. Darshan 1219, yeast ring. Found in a pile of crochet hooks and knitting needles, this is a wooden ring approximately 15 centimeters in diameter. It appears to be constructed from many small joined wooden pieces, giving it a unique segmented look. Its presence among textile craft tools is puzzling, as it doesn't seem to fit the typical profile of a knitting or crochet accessory. What could this unusual wooden ring be used for? This is likely a yeast ring, a traditional Scandinavian kitchen tool. Also known as a jästring in Swedish, it was used for preserving sourdough starter or yeast. The baker would dip the wooden ring into their active yeast starter. The starter would adhere to the porous wood and dry. The ring could then be hung in a cool, dry place for long-term storage. When it was time to bake again, the ring was simply soaked in warm water to rehydrate the yeast and kickstart a new batch of sourdough. It's a fascinating piece of baking history from before the era of commercial yeast. This odd black metal bow tie-shaped object is attached to the back of a Subaru near the bumper. Seen in Utah, its purpose is not immediately clear. It doesn't appear to be a standard automotive part, but its placement and sturdy construction suggest a specific function related to towing or accessories. Does anyone know what this bow tie-shaped bracket is for? This is a license plate relocator bracket. When a driver attaches a trailer or a hitch-mounted bike rack to their car, it often obscures the vehicle's rear license plate, which is a legal violation in many places. This relocator bracket, which often attaches to the trailer hitch itself, provides a new, temporary mounting point for the license plate. The driver would move their plate from the bumper to this bracket, ensuring it remains visible while the trailer is attached. It's a simple and practical solution for maintaining legal compliance while towing. A magazine, sold inside a paper sleeve with a free CD, contained this unexpected orange rubber thing inside the sleeve as well. What could this small, industrial-looking rubber piece be? This orange rubber thing is a gripper from a CD manufacturing line. During the automated process of producing CDs, robotic arms equipped with soft rubber grippers like this one are used to pick up and move the delicate discs from one stage of production to the next, from the molding machine to the metallizer, to the printer, and finally into the jewel case. This one likely stuck to the CD or the packaging sleeve during the final packaging process and was accidentally included with the magazine. It's a small, authentic piece of industrial automation. These black posts are sticking out of the ground in Copenhagen, Denmark. The inverted bowl-like lid is plastic, and the posts are sturdy metal, about 3 to 4 feet tall. There are 20-30 of them lining the street. What are they? Believe it or not, they're a very clever and minimalist bike rack. To use it, a cyclist would hook the front part of their bicycle's seat over the bit sticking out of the post, securing the bike. The black, inverted bowl-like part is a brilliant little feature. It's a cover to keep the bike seat dry from the frequent Copenhagen rain. This is a great example of Danish design, providing a simple, space-saving bike parking solution with an added practical benefit for the cyclist. It's an elegant solution to a common urban problem. This plastic object was found in a backyard after a light rain. It's about 6 inches long and was not there the day before during yard work. What is it? This looks like the landing spot, or perch, from a Bird Buddy smart bird feeder. The Bird Buddy is a popular modern bird feeder that has a built-in camera, which automatically takes pictures of visiting birds and identifies them using AI. This plastic piece is the small perch that attaches to the front of the feeder, giving the birds a place to land just before they eat. They are known to sometimes get knocked off by larger birds, like squirrels or crows, or in high winds, which would explain its sudden appearance in the yard. Found while cleaning out a garage, this appears bag-like, but has a strange shape and a see-through plastic bit. The zip is about 10 inches long. What is it? It's a rain cover for digital cameras. These are designed to protect a DSLR or mirrorless camera and its lens from rain, snow, or spray while shooting in inclement weather. The main body of the cover is made of a waterproof material. The see-through plastic bit is the window that goes over the camera's screen and controls on the back, allowing the photographer to see their settings and compose their shot. There would also be openings for the lens and for the photographer's hands to access the controls. Found in the corner of a community garden, the bristles are stiffer than broom bristles and are stuck into a foam bottom. It is very dirty. It's not a reed diffuser as it has no smell. What is it? This is probably used for baseball. It is a plug for the hole where the bases are anchored. On a proper baseball or softball field, the bases, first, second, and third, are not just placed on the ground, but are anchored to a metal post that is set in a concrete footing below the ground. When the bases are removed for storage or during off-season, these plugs, with their artificial turf or bristle tops, are placed into the anchor holes. This keeps dirt out of the anchor and creates a safe, level playing surface. This thin but strong piece of leash has two metallic rings on the end. It came with an automatic, retractable leash for a dog. What is it for? This is an extra safety collar or a backup connector. You put this short strap around the dog's neck in addition to their regular collar. You then attach the main clasp from the retractable leash to both the ring on the dog's primary collar and the two rings on this safety strap. The purpose is to act as a fail-safe. In the event that the dog's regular collar or the D-ring on it breaks, this backup collar will keep the dog attached to the leash, preventing a potentially dangerous escape. This gray stone object is about 3 inches long and was found in a black velvet bag in a jewelry box with men's accessories. It's possible it's just a cool rock, but the bag is throwing the finder off. What is it? This looks like a piece of soapstone, also known as talc, which is used by steelworkers, welders, and fabricators for marking on steel. It's essentially a crayon for metal. It leaves a clear white mark that is easy to see on dark metal surfaces, and crucially, the mark can withstand the high heat of welding or cutting torches without burning off, unlike a wax crayon or a marker. Its presence in a jewelry box is a bit odd, but perhaps the owner worked as a welder, or just liked the feel of the smooth, soft stone. This is a small, round, silver-colored object that weighs next to nothing. It has a moon on the right-hand side and XXX engraved into it. What is this interesting token? This is a token from a Love You to the Moon and Back gift set. This phrase is a very popular sentiment for gifts between loved ones. The gift, often a piece of jewelry like a necklace, will come with a small, complimentary token like this one, featuring a moon symbol. The XXX represents kisses. It is a small, sentimental keepsake that is part of a larger, themed gift, not a coin or a token with any monetary value. Seen above a driveway in Vermont, these are white boxes aimed downward, with wires leading to them. The commenter notes they are not wireless radios. What are they? These are not wireless radios. The commenter correctly identifies the wires as coaxial cable and the central box as a coax splitter. This is part of a TV antenna distribution system. A single TV antenna on the roof would feed its signal via a coaxial cable to the splitter. The splitter then divides the signal and sends it out via multiple output cables to different rooms or apartments in a building, allowing multiple televisions to receive the signal from the one antenna. The white boxes are likely weatherproof enclosures or individual amplifiers for each line. These small metal things came with a mixed case of needle threaders and needles from a thrift shop. They are about the same size and thickness as a standard needle threader, but have indented text that is too worn to read. What are they? This is a tapestry needle threader. While a standard needle threader has a fine wire loop for threading thin sewing needles, tapestry needles have a very large, long eye to accommodate thick yarn or embroidery floss. This different style of threader is designed for those larger eyes. It is often a flat piece of metal with a small hook or a special shape at the end that helps to pull the thick yarn through the large eye of the tapestry needle, making it easier to thread. Found in a backyard, this is metal and is kind of hard to pull. It's a faded green color and has a pin kind of thing on it. What is it? This is a dog tie-out stake. It's an anchor that is screwed deep into the ground in a yard. The top part, often with a ring that can swivel 360 degrees, is where you would clip a dog's leash or a long tie-out cable. This allows a dog to have some freedom to roam around a specific area of the yard without being able to run off. The corkscrew or auger design of the stake ensures it has a very strong hold in the ground and is kind of hard to pull out. This flash drive-sized device weighs maybe 2 O's, has a little carabiner, and an aluminum-like body. It has a charging port and an LED that goes blue and red when turned on. What is it? The red and blue flashing LED indicates it's a Bluetooth device searching for a paired device. This is a Bluetooth carabiner speaker. It's a small, portable speaker designed for on-the-go use. The carabiner clip allows it to be easily attached to a backpack, a belt loop, or a bike. You would pair it with your smartphone via Bluetooth to play music wirelessly. They are a very common and popular type of portable audio accessory for outdoor activities like hiking and camping. Roughly 18 inches long with metal ends, one end pointy but not sharp, this is made of wood painted black. What is it? That is a swagger stick. A swagger stick is a short, rigid stick or cane, traditionally carried by a commissioned officer in some armed forces as a symbol of authority. It is typically shorter than a walking stick and is not used for support, but rather carried tucked under the arm. The commenter thinks of the stick you see a general holding. They were particularly common in the British and Commonwealth armies. This one, with its wooden shaft and metal ends, is a classic example of this military accoutrement. This floor cupboard is in a 1960s closet. It has a flip top. The finder's guess is for shoes, but it can only fit a couple of pairs per side and only lengthwise. The commenter asks what it looks like with the top on. What is it? The commenter's guess is a shoe rack, where you're not supposed to take the top off or put anything inside it. This is a type of tilt-out shoe cabinet or bin. The flip top is actually the front of the drawer. You would pull it forward and down, and a compartment or rack for storing shoes would tilt out. You would store the shoes in these compartments, not inside the main box. They are a space-saving way to store shoes neatly out of sight in a closet. This is a clear, pressed glass mixing bowl with a strange lip on the inside, about an inch down from the rim. The lip is sectioned by slots, and each section is at a slight angle. It almost resembles an ashtray lip atop a bowl. What is it? This is a Heisey flat panel crushed fruit jar. It's a specific piece of antique American glassware made by the Heisey Company. It would have originally come with a lid that covered the edge. Its purpose was for serving crushed or preserved fruit, like a fruit compote or a jam. The intricate lip with the slots would allow a serving spoon to rest on the inside rim, with the handle protruding through one of the slots, preventing the spoon from sliding down into the fruit. It's a beautiful and functional piece of vintage serveware. Found at the Imola racetrack, this is a heavy metal object with the number 10 etched on it. It has a metallic shine and what looks to be molten blue paint and plastic wrap stuck on it. Could it be a car or motor part? The best guess is that this is a lead wheel weight that has come unstuck from a race car's wheel and been run over a bunch of times. To balance a wheel for high-speed use, small adhesive weights like this one are stuck to the inside of the wheel rim. The 10 would indicate its weight in grams. At the extreme speeds and temperatures of a racetrack, the adhesive can sometimes fail, causing the weight to be thrown off. The molten blue paint and plastic would be from it being run over and picking up debris from the track surface or another car's tire. This small, 1-inch pewter metal vessel is a mystery. What could it be? This is likely part of a larger pewter figurine that has broken. Pewter is a soft, malleable metal alloy that is often used for casting small, detailed figurines such as soldiers, animals, or characters from folklore. This small vessel could be a basket, a hat, a bag, or another accessory that a larger figurine was holding or wearing. It has broken off from the main figure and now appears to be a standalone, tiny vessel. This is a wooden box with a hinge that opens up to a mirror. It's about the size of a piece of copy paper and about 2 inches high. It's at least 50 years old. What is its specific purpose? This is a jewelry or dresser box. This style was very popular for a gentleman's dresser or a lady's vanity. The box itself, often lined with felt or velvet, would be used for storing items like cufflinks, tie pins, watches, rings, or other small pieces of jewelry. The mirror on the inside of the lid was a convenient feature for putting on earrings, checking a tie, or for general grooming. It is a classic and functional piece of bedroom furniture accessory. Found in a house, this is a small, light plastic ball with a hole in it. Neither of the residents has any clue where it came from. What are some possibilities for this common, small object? This small plastic ball with a hole could be any number of things. It could be a cat toy or a small toy for another pet, often with a bell inside that has now fallen out. It could be a large craft bead from a jewelry making or macrame kit. It could be a Lego piece, specifically from the Technic line, which uses many parts with holes. It could also be a part of a board game or even a small piece of packaging that an item was shipped with. Its true identity is a mystery without more context. A pair of these were found in a box of random auction stuff. They are lead, weighing about 4 O's, with a rubber band permanently attached. They are stamped Stie Teat. An old JCPenney price tag reads 69 cents. What are they for? This is a Stie Tight 4-ounce duck or goose decoy lead anchor weight. When hunting waterfowl, hunters place a number of floating decoys on the water to attract real birds. To keep these lightweight decoys from floating away, each one must be anchored. This lead weight would be tied to a length of string, and the other end of the string would be attached to the decoy. The large rubber band is a clever feature. You would wrap the anchor line around the decoy's keel for storage, and then use the rubber band to secure the weight itself. This white plastic wall device is hanging in a vintage RV. It's 5 inches tall and appears to have slots. There is a silver bracket above it for a broom. What is the plastic device? This is a Dixie brand bathroom cup dispenser. It's a classic piece of Americana. The dispenser would have originally had a matching outer sleeve with the brand name on it, which is now missing. That sleeve would slot onto the wings of this wall-mounted bracket. A stack of small paper Dixie cups would then be loaded into the dispenser from the top, allowing them to be pulled out one by one from the bottom. These were a very common fixture in bathrooms from the mid-20th century. This roundish thing with multiple knobs is attached to the right side handlebar of a Dutch-style bike. Nothing appears to fit inside the knobby areas. Maybe it's for a shopping bag? This is a versnelbeschermer, or a gear shift protector, from the Dutch bike brand Azor. According to their website, when parking against a wall, this protector is a godsend. It saves a lot of hassle and repair costs. The knobs act as a bumper. When the cyclist leans their bike against a wall or a post, this protector makes contact first, keeping the often delicate twist grip gear shifter and the brake lever from being scraped, damaged, or knocked out of alignment. It is a simple but very practical accessory for a utility bike that gets a lot of daily use. This heavy metal item has a picture of a hunting dog on it and a weird metal wire on the back. It likely dates from the 1920-1930 era. What is it? This is a rosette for a horse bridle or bit. Rosettes are decorative discs that are placed on the side of a horse's bridle at the point where the bit attaches to the cheek pieces. They serve to cover the hardware and also to add a decorative flair to the horse's tack. They were often made with intricate designs, such as the hunting dog scene on this one, which would have been appropriate for the bridle of a horse used for hunting. The wire on the back would be part of the loop for attaching it to the bridle strap. This rounded tube is on the corner of a school maintenance building. There is another set on the far side, not on the corner. What is its purpose? This is a roller barrier, a type of anti-climb security device. It is specifically designed to keep kids from climbing onto the roof of the building. The corner is a point where a person could easily brace themselves to climb up. This system consists of a series of large, independently rotating cups or tubes on a central spindle. If someone tries to grab onto it to pull themselves up, the cups simply spin, offering no stable handhold. It is a humane but effective way to prevent unauthorized access to rooftops. This is a metal panel with a mesh of drilled holes located next to the fire exit of a local bar. It's the full height of the door, but only 1 foot wide. What is it for? This is basically a security gate bolted in front of the fire exit. It's meant to stop people from breaking in through the fire exit door from the outside, which can be a weak point in a building's security. It's essentially a set of burglar bars but on hinges. However, as the commenter notes, these are a major safety hazard. If the gate is locked, blocked, or in any way impedes people from opening the fire exit from the inside, it completely defeats the purpose of the emergency exit. This is why you don't see them in newer buildings, as they often violate modern fire codes. This black cylinder is about 12 inches long and 0.6 inches in diameter. It's not metal, but very stiff and hard plastic or composite material. It was found on a driveway. Could it be related to trash bins or cars? It's the rod for the trash bin's lid hinge. Many of the large, wheeled plastic trash bins used for municipal garbage collection have a hinged lid. This lid pivots on a long plastic rod that passes through the handle of the bin and the hinges of the lid. This stiff, hard plastic rod is that hinge pin. They can sometimes work their way loose and fall out onto the driveway or street, especially when the bin is being handled roughly by the garbage truck's lifting arm. Found in therapy, this was standing alone. It's fairly light, made of plastic with metal balls around it. What could this be? This is an air hockey or, more likely, a roller hockey puck. A standard air hockey puck is a simple, flat disc. This one, with the metal balls embedded around its perimeter, is designed for playing a similar game on a smooth, flat surface without air, like a gym floor or a tabletop. The metal balls act as ball bearings, allowing the puck to glide with very little friction, mimicking the feel of an air hockey puck floating on a cushion of air. It was likely from a game set. These car-sized white containers with solar panels are in San Diego. The interior is sometimes lit up at night, and they have never been seen closed, occupied, or utilized in an obvious way. What are they? These are off-grid, solar-powered electric vehicle, EV, chargers. These self-contained units use the large solar panels on top to generate electricity, which is then stored in batteries inside the container. This stored energy is then used to charge electric vehicles. They are a solution for providing EV charging in locations where it's difficult or expensive to connect to the main power grid, such as remote areas, temporary event sites, or, as in this case, to add charging capacity to existing parking lots without extensive trenching and electrical work. This stainless steel circle has a T-cut in it. What is this? This is the disc that stops an underground petrol or oil tank dipstick from coming fully out of the tank. The dipsticks used at service stations to manually measure the fuel level in underground tanks are often made from T-section metal. The end of the dipstick is notched and bent over. This small stainless steel disc, located at the top of the dip tube, has a T-shaped slot that allows the T-section dipstick to pass through it, but it prevents the bent-over end from coming out, so the dipstick can't be accidentally dropped into the tank. This hangs on a wall and is made of wood. It's too shallow to store pens. What was its intended use? It is for a large box of matches. Before the advent of small, disposable lighters and safety matchbooks, household matches were often sold in large, slide-open boxes. A decorative wooden holder like this one would be mounted on the wall, typically in the kitchen near the stove. The large box of matches would be slid into the holder, providing a convenient and designated spot for this essential household item, keeping it readily accessible for lighting the stove, lamps, or a fire. It is a charming piece of vintage kitchenalia. This all-wood object was found by a plumber inside a sink drain pipe, past the trap. It's about 3.5 inches long. What is it? This looks like one half of a wooden toilet paper roll holder, specifically the spring-loaded kind. This type of holder consists of two wooden or plastic end pieces that fit into the bracket on the wall, and they are connected by a spring in the middle that allows them to be compressed to insert a roll of toilet paper. This is one of those end pieces. It likely fell into the toilet, was flushed, and then managed to make its way into the sink drain through a cross-connection in the plumbing, which can happen in some older systems. I noticed these metal objects with a hollowed-out square at the bottom of utility poles. I never see anything attached to them. They are always inserted at an angle, and usually there is more than one. What's their purpose? They're plugs for holes, where the wooden utility pole was treated with preservatives to prevent rot and decay. To extend the life of a wooden pole, especially at the ground line where moisture is a problem, holes are drilled into the pole, and a chemical preservative is poured or injected into these holes. The preservative then slowly leaches into the surrounding wood. After treatment, the holes are sealed with these plugs to keep the preservative in and moisture out. The plugs can be removed for additional treatment in the future if required. This is a 3-tiered shoe rack made of lightweight metal and wire shelves. The finder took it apart to move and now can't figure out how to put it back together. The parts include 5 long rods and 4 short rods. Are they sure it's a shoe rack? While it was being used as a shoe rack, it is pretty sure to be an over-the-toilet storage shelf. These lightweight, freestanding shelving units are designed to fit neatly over a standard toilet tank, providing extra storage space in a small bathroom for towels, toiletries, or decorative items. The specific configuration of the long and short rods would be for creating the tall, narrow frame required for this purpose. It's a very common piece of bathroom furniture that is often repurposed for other storage needs. This small piece of plastic with a wire and plug on it was found covered in grease. What could it be from? Was it found near any fitness equipment? This could be a sensor or a switch from a piece of exercise equipment like a treadmill, an elliptical, or a stationary bike. These machines often have various sensors to track speed, position, or safety features, like the emergency stop key on a treadmill. The grease would be lubricant from the machine's moving parts. Without more detail, it's hard to be specific, but its origin is likely a piece of modern electronic exercise equipment. This is a small, flimsy, clear plastic item. It came in the packaging pictured. What is it for? This is the wrapper or a blade cover for a disposable hunting knife blade, very similar to those used in the Havalon brand of knives. Havalon knives are popular with hunters because they use surgically sharp, replaceable scalpel blades instead of a traditional fixed blade that needs to be sharpened. This allows the hunter to always have a razor-sharp edge for field dressing game. The blades are extremely sharp and come in individual sterile wrappers, like this one for safety. This is believed to be a ceramic object, about an inch round. It's in line with an electric element on a BBQ that keeps tripping. Could this be the culprit? This is a thermostat switch, also known as a thermal cutoff or a thermal switch. Its job is to act as a safety device. It is a temperature-sensitive switch that will automatically open the electrical circuit if the temperature exceeds a preset limit, cutting power to the heating element. This is to prevent overheating and a potential fire. If the BBQ element keeps tripping the breaker, it's possible this safety switch is malfunctioning and opening the circuit at too low a temperature, or there is another issue causing the element to genuinely overheat. It is a very likely culprit. This consists of a steel handle and a brass circle with threads and a slit on one end that screws into the handle. What is it? This is a clamp-on handle for a large air tool, possibly a jet air drill, model JAT 601 or similar. Large, high-torque air tools like drills or grinders can be very difficult to control, and they can produce a powerful reactive torque that could injure the operator's wrist. This auxiliary handle clamps around the body of the air tool. The brass part with the slit is the clamp. This provides the operator with a second, secure grip point, allowing them to brace against the tool's torque and control it much more safely and effectively. These are leather cases, one from 1906, with heavy metal things inside. What are these antique instruments? Those are pocket sextants. A sextant is a navigational instrument used to measure the angle between two visible objects. Its primary use is to measure the angle between a celestial object, like the sun, and the horizon, which is essential for celestial navigation. While full-sized marine sextants are large instruments, these pocket sextants are much more compact, designed for use by surveyors, military officers, or explorers in the field where portability was key. They are beautiful, high-precision instruments from an era before GPS. A cool find. This is a plastic barrel key, found in a home as a set of two. The finders swear they have no idea what it goes to. What does it open? Do you own any small plastic waterproof cases like a Pelican case or a similar brand? These keys are used to operate the manual purge valve or to lock the latches on some models of these protective cases. The cases are airtight, and changes in altitude or temperature can create a pressure differential that makes them hard to open. The key is used to open a valve to equalize the pressure, or on other models, they are used to lock the main latches to prevent them from accidentally opening. They are a common accessory for this type of rugged equipment case. What is this wooden board with movable metal rods branded by Guinness? That is a shove halfpenny game board. Shove halfpenny, shove halfpenny, is a traditional British pub game. The objective is to push or shove old halfpenny coins, or other smooth discs, up the board so that they land perfectly between the horizontal lines, the beds. The metal rods on the side are for keeping score. A player would move a rod to mark each bed they have successfully scored in. The Guinness branding indicates it was likely a promotional item produced for use in pubs. It's a classic game of skill and precision. This small silver cylinder with a hex screw was found on the counter at a local brewery. What is it for? This is a locking pin back. It's an aftermarket accessory used to replace the standard, less secure clutch or rubber backs that come on enamel pins. Pin collectors often use these to ensure their valuable or favorite pins don't accidentally fall off a jacket, backpack, or display board. You slide the pin's post into the hole and then use a small Allen key to tighten the hex set screw, which locks the back securely onto the pin. They are a must-have for anyone who wears and collects enamel pins. This guy on the Great Food Truck Race is wearing this wooden thing attached to a ball by a string around his neck, but only during the eliminations. What is it? This is a kendama, a traditional Japanese skill toy. It consists of a handle with 3 cups and a spike, and a ball that is connected by a string. The objective is to perform a huge variety of tricks that involve juggling the ball between the cups and landing it on the spike. It is a game that requires a great deal of practice, patience, and coordination. It's possible the chef wears it as a good luck charm or uses it as a way to focus and relieve stress during the tense elimination rounds of the competition. This has a sort of compass, a level, and a thing that says it is patented, reading EL dense meridian instrument followed by an address. What is it? This is an EI dense dipledoscope, a specialized astronomical instrument for accurately determining longitude. Invented in the 19th century, it uses a system of prisms to observe the transit of the sun or a star across the local meridian, the north-south line. By precisely timing this transit and comparing it to a known time at a reference meridian, like Greenwich, a navigator or surveyor could calculate their exact longitude. The compass and level are for orienting the instrument correctly. It was a simpler and often more accurate alternative to a transit telescope for this one specific task. An auction listing for a similar one sold for £820. Found in an old barn, this big wooden machine has 2 holes on it and makes the finder think it's some kind of processor. What is it? According to an 85-year-old farming father, this is for cleaning grain. It is a type of fanning mill or winnowing machine. After grain like wheat or oats was threshed to separate it from the stalks, it would be fed into this machine. Inside, a large hand-cranked fan would generate a current of air. As the grain fell through this airstream, the heavier, desirable grain would fall straight down, while the lighter chaff, dust, and other debris would be blown out to the side. The different holes would be for loading the grain and for the cleaned grain and the chaff to exit separately. This is a metal object with a clamp on one end and two bars protruding, one straight and one zigzag. What is it? This looks to be a J-hook for clothes on a hanger, specifically for a metro rack. A metro rack is a type of heavy-duty wire shelving commonly used in commercial kitchens, stockrooms, and garages. This hook would clamp onto the vertical post of the shelving unit. The protruding J-hook would then provide a place to hang clothing on hangers, adding garment storage capability to the shelving unit. The zigzag part might be an alternative hanging option or a design feature. This clunky metal handle assembly is seen next to windows in older homes. It's made of threaded rod, nuts, and a flat metal bar. It doesn't seem to control shutters. What is its purpose? This is a safety release for exterior window security bars. In many urban areas, security bars are installed on ground floor windows to prevent break-ins. However, this creates a major fire safety hazard, as it can trap residents inside during a fire. This mechanism is a quick release system. By pulling or turning this handle from the inside, a latch is released, and the entire security bar assembly can be swung open like a door, allowing for an emergency escape. It is a critical life safety feature for homes with window bars. These are plastic tabs with a raised section on one side, about 1.5 inches long, and a whole bunch were in a jar. A pen is used for scale. What are they for? These look like they clip onto the side of seed-raising trays to identify what seeds have been planted in them. When starting many different types of seeds indoors for a garden, it's essential to keep track of which variety is in which tray or cell. These small plastic tabs would clip onto the edge of the seed tray, and the gardener would write the name of the plant on the raised section with a permanent marker. It's a simple but effective system for plant identification in a nursery or a home garden setup.
Which of these items surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. For more unknown items, check out the other videos on our channel. Hit like and subscribe.